Oh, well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Today is the first day of the year. That's how I'm looking at it. This is, in my mind, the first show of 2024. That's how I've mentally prepared for it today. Let's get our heads right on a Wednesday. Today, I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. To my left, good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. Why didn't yesterday count? I thought yesterday went really well.
It went well, but I had absolutely zero fun. Just not fun in the slightest. And I did not. I didn't. I don't want to say it. I didn't enjoy it. It was not enjoyable. I don't like shows like that. We got a lot of good response to it and all of that, but I don't like
You're
shows
a lover,
like that.
not a fighter. And you felt like you had to be a bit of a fighter yesterday.
Yeah, I wanted to come in and have fun with my friends after a 2-week vacation and talk about a lot of fun stuff that happened. And I'm really into fun. I like having fun in here. I do. That's been the knock against this show for a few years now from some is you guys have too much fun. And I think, well, it's that. And I tweeted it over the break too. The things that kind of get my goat a little bit are you guys have too much fun, you don't take it seriously enough, and you talk about your kids too much. So I said, when I die, and you guys, if you outlive me, and you probably will, make sure Hannah puts on my urn, he loved his kids so much he talked about them on the radio. If that's the worst thing you could say about me, fine.
And he had too much fun.
And he had way too much
That's
fun.
why I'm here. I hate fun.
Ben hates
so
fun.
I balance out
That's right.
the fun Stephen Woods.
That's right.
Because I can't stand fun.
Yeah, 100%. It's serious. By the way, sports and scores and stuff, very serious business. It's very serious business. I just really did not have a fun day yesterday. And so today I wanted to have some fun. Wanted to get loose. That's when we're at our best, I think. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start, though, because, again, we came out, guns blazing yesterday and smash mouth radio a little bit. And I wanted to kind of talk about the break and the fun that we did have over the break, Christmas, things like that. Like, that's what I was really interested in. It's pretty dead in sports. Last night I was watching the Duke basketball game for 20 minutes, and I was like, well, this sucks. I'm going to go back and do something else. And I want to have fun. It's kind of a dead period in sports right now. We wait for the national championship game next week. Massively looking forward to that. Already got my bets in, so I wanted to talk about Christmas. And did you guys get any loot? Because we didn't even really share the loot that we got.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Someone got loot. Good. I was a little
waiting
low
for you.
on loot. Yeah, I was a little low. Actually, I know my brother-in-law, we do the old draw names, and you only get like a present for that person, so you don't have to buy
like a secret Santa.
Yeah, like a secret Santa, exactly. But you don't. It's not secret, but yes. So you don't have to buy something for every single brother-in-law, sister-in-law. So
yeah,
we combine all up, and I got some very cool Nikes.
You did?
Paul would be jealous.
Where are they?
Well, I
what are we doing here?
I mean, I'm trying to keep them nice. I wore them at work last night, though, on TV.
You
could have
did?
seen them. Yeah, I did.
What in the world?
I
It doesn't
did.
tell us anything.
Yeah.
All right, what color are they?
Like silver and blue, kind of, and white. You'll see them. I'll wear them soon.
Charger colors.
Yeah.
Dodger colors. Very cool. Are they low top?
UCLA.
Yeah.
They're low top.
Low, yeah.
I'm so happy for you. So you got some Nikes
Yeah, and
there.
some Vans, which were cool, too. So I got shoes. I have new
Vans?
shoes. The guy who doesn't wear shoes most days,
Yeah.
just flip-flops, got shoes for Christmas, which was cool. Let's see. We got the kids. They had, that's all electronics for them at this age. They're teenagers. They got these Oculus VR headset things that they were excited about, and then clothes. We're at clothes age that you have to kind of keep them updated every year with some clothes. So,
But what did you get?
I didn't get much. I mean,
Socks or anything?
yeah, I got some socks.
Socks.
Got some socks, which were nice. Shelly got me socks, and my mother-in-law got me some socks, which was always appreciated.
Again, it's something you don't wear a lot of.
Yeah, socks and shoes.
But you have plenty.
I'm stocked up.
I made out like a bandit. Like a literal, like a thieving bandit. Hannah is the most elite gift giver of all time. I got an electric scooter, and which, if you know me at all, It's like my favorite thing in the world to do. It really is. If I lived on a big plot of land, I would have an ATV. I don't. I live in a cul-de-sac. The best I can do right now is like a bird scooter. It's not bird. It's not Segway, I think it's called. So she got me that.
You don't have to put your credit card in it to make it go or anything.
Exactly.
Good. Okay, good.
We log into the app,
Unlock it,
put it in the right zone to park it.
Yeah, you can't park it at home.
Right. I got my own electric scooter. When I tell you guys, I'm scooting around my neighborhood like you would think I just got out of prison. The look on my face, like just remember the guy with the
Diet Pepsi,
remember the cranberry juice.
That's right.
And Fleetwood Mac in the background.
Yeah.
That's me on my electric scooter. Ocean spray, just grinning from ear to ear. Now Bo got a little one. It doesn't go too fast, so he and I are now this like bird gang around the neighborhood. I love it. I ride it every single day. I look forward to getting home.
People
so that
see
I
you
can
coming, they close their shutters and
hunker
down as you go by.
All the MILFs in the neighborhood, they just look out the window when they see me coming. Like, there's that guy again on his bird scooter. How cool is he? I mean, you look like a complete dork, but I got that. Got a new putter. Our buddy Foster helped facilitate that deal. Got the Scotty Cameron, which means I'll never miss a putt again. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Not true
about that. So
That's how it works.
I made out pretty well. Got some good clothes. I got this sweatshirt, this San Diego FC sweatshirt.
Yeah, that's sharp. Actually,
Hannah bought that for me, and I opened it and I go, all right, let's get on board with San Diego FC.
Everyone was so up in arms about, I don't the logo. I don't know if I like it or not. I said, you can get merch without the logo if you don't like the logo.
It's on the back.
Oh, there it is. Actually, it looks good in blue.
It looks really
really
good
in blue.
And, I just thought, listen, that's a major league team coming to town. Soccer Woods is going to be here before you know it. So I really crushed at Christmas. Paulie, how did you do?
I did great. Megan got me a pair of shoes that I've literally wanted since I was 15.
Sick.
I'm 33 now, so it's been a while. So very excited about that. And then she always crushes it with the staples. Got some new pants from Vuori that are just incredible. T-shirts, socks, underwear, that whole thing. And then she got me this. I don't really know what a lithograph is, but it's a lithograph. It's like a drawing or piece of art.
Yeah.
And it's very cool. It's 1 out of 400.
Oh, I know about this one.
And
she ran this one by me.
It's of Ken Griffey Jr., his swing, my favorite player of all time.
The best swing ever.
The purest swing, and it's autographed by Ken Griffey Jr.
So
and
sick.
It looks unbelievable. This is one that she was like, because it's not just a photo. It's not like a glossy print from a game. It's a piece of art. And she goes, that's something I think is cool too. Like that's going up in the office.
You can hang that.
Yeah, that one can go on the walls. So
yeah, it's very cool.
Totally wasn't expecting it at all, and it just came out of nowhere. It was unbelievable. And then we had a ton of fun. People that listened to our last show of 2023 heard that I got hooked up with a record player.
That's right.
Thanks to one Stephen Woods at the Extravaganza. Set that up that night, and I played Ben's Gift. The Foreigner album.
I mean, I feel like you all made fun of me for giving Foreigner.
We did.
But tell me, how did the Foreigner experience go?
I had, at that time, like the night we brought that home and set it up, I had 4 or 5 records already around the house.
Yep.
But I had to play the Foreigner one first.
100%.
For the debut.
You broke it in.
I was like, I got Woods' Gift set up. Now I need to put Ben's Gift on it. And, dude, I think it's their greatest hit.
What's the opening track on that? It's got to be Cold as Ice, right?
I also want to just point out that
it was just banger after banger.
I also gave him a gift card to buy more records of his choice. It wasn't just I got him an album and Woods got him a record player, which makes me look like a total cheapskate, which I know I am, but I'm not that much of a total cheapskate.
Hey, have I told you guys the story?
That is absolutely fair.
Have I told you guys the story of my dad in college? Did I tell you the story of This is when my dad loves this story because it's not about him; it's about his dad.
Is this an offshoot of the Terminator guitar
story? This is the
story?
offshoot. I told the Terminator story again. It breaks his heart when I tell it.
But now you have one.
Now I have one. It's in my office. So my dad, when he was at Notre Dame, this was when hi-fis and record players were really a thing. Like everybody was getting a really nice hi-fi and record player. So he asks his parents for Christmas, I would like one for my dorm room. So he goes home to visit for Christmas, and he's, probably 18, 19, goes under the tree. First gift he opens is this awesome set of headphones with a really long cord. And he goes, all right, first step is done. So they open stuff. Here's the sweater from Grandma. Here's the socks. Here's some shoes. Here's some clothes. Nothing. No record player.
Accompanying present that goes with these headphones.
So he was like, oh. And, I think his dad was, like, disappointed or something. And he's like, I thought maybe I was going to get a record player hi-fi. He goes, no, I got you the extra long cord so you can plug into your buddies and still lay on your bed. I was like, oh, my God. No wonder where you get it from. I was like, so he's like, yeah. So that was my problem. The extra long. You could even stretch it across the hall into the other dorm, and you'll be able to listen to his Jethro Tull records. I was like, good Lord, Dad. So, yeah, man, it was awesome. We went to Lake Arrowhead, and I had not ever been to Lake Arrowhead, and neither had Hannah. And actually, she had when she was younger, but didn't remember it. You guys, what a cool little town. Highly recommend for a little staycation, if it's cold, if it's warm, whatever.
In the mountains there above San Bernardino. Yeah, I've never been there either.
It's really, really cool. They got they got the typical kind of touristy gift shops and stuff like that. The kids loved it. We had a great time. But the weirdest thing happened is we check into this hotel, and we get up in the morning, and we're going to go eat breakfast before we go tackle the day and go to Santa's Village. So I walk down in, get the kids set up a table. It's a buffet. So Hannah goes, all right. I'll go. She goes, I'm not even really that hungry. You go get yours, and you get Bo's and Taylor's. I go, all right, I'll go load up some plates with some stuff. So I walk into the buffet room, and I'm loading some potatoes on my plate, and I turn, and I look up, and I go, yep, that's Shia LaBeouf, the actor, right? The much maligned actor, Shia LaBeouf. And he is 1 foot from me. And I'm staring him dead in the face. He's got a beard. He's with his wife and daughter. And I'll say this. He was going through it. He had the look of an intense dad that has an intense day of dadding ahead of him. As I was in the same boat. We were on our way to Santa's Village. So I was like, oh, my God, it's Shia LaBeouf.
He was in that really bad Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, a lot of people blamed him for kind of ruining the franchise. Now, he has an impending court case with an ex-girlfriend. It has not been a good few years for him. Now, I heard him on a podcast called Real Ones with John Bernthal, and it's one of the more interesting podcasts you'll ever hear, talking about he was an alcoholic, drug addict, abusive, and how he's trying to work his way out of that life, and he's got a daughter and a wife, and it's a really fascinating podcast. If you believe in second, third chances, it's really, really good. But I saw him, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. So he kind of looked at me, I looked at him, and I said, hey, Merry Christmas. I said, I heard you on that podcast. It was phenomenal, and I left it there. So I leave. We're walking around the hotel, and we go to Santa's Village, and Hannah's blown away because she loved Shia LaBeouf when she was younger. And I go, oh, God, look. He was at Santa's Village. We went ice skating. Guess who was there lacing up his skates? Shia LaBeouf. I'm like, we're not following you. This is just where we go out. We go back to the hotel. We're going to dinner. Bo and I walk out to the balcony, look down into the lobby. As soon as we look down in the lobby, the elevator door opens. He walks out with a stroller, looks up, sees me looking at him, and I just look away real quick. We walk out.
Will you be my best friend?
Our cars are parked right next to each other. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, Ben, every turn we made, he was there. And every turn he made, I was there. I was like, I'm mortified. I like you well enough. I thought you were really good in Disturbia, but I don't know what to do at this point. I'm not following you. I'm not paparazzi. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be friends. We were on the exact same, we were on the same cycle. Everywhere we went, we just intertwined. So that was a really interesting part of how random is that?
TMZ Woods over here. Yeah, with another celebrity encounter.
Yeah, celebrity scoop.
Polly Woods.
I've been wanting to do that bit for a while. I think that would drive some people insane. Yeah, just an entertainment segment called Hollywoods.
And did you actually, you got snow when you were up there? Some real snow? There was a little bit of snow.
We got a little ice. Like, we woke up in the morning, the car was iced over, and that's it.
All right.
But it was great.
That ain't nothing.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Guess what we've got coming up today?
Absolutely nothing.
No, that's not true. Coming up at 8:35 this morning, we will catch up with one Jesse Agler, voice of the Padres. Get a start to 2024. Chat with Jesse. Of course, he's about a month away from heading out to spring training like everybody else. But we'll get his thoughts on what's been going on in the Padres offseason. We do have, well, no official news, but last night, some reports as the Padres continue to flesh out their bullpen, their internationally flared bullpen. We'll give you that news coming up as well. Got all of our regular features. We'll set the table next with a spicy, somewhat spicy Padres story that we didn't get to yesterday with all the commotion and hubbub upon our return. But we will get to that coming up next. Ben and Woods, good morning. Glad to have you with us on a Wednesday. We'll check traffic, and off we go on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. If you were with us yesterday, you heard us introduce our new midday show. Craig, Annie were in. Annie and Elston going to start tomorrow officially, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And one of the great things is you'll be able to watch our YouTube stream at 97.3 The Fan all day long now, starting at 6 a.m. through Annie and Elston, Gwen and Chris in the afternoon. If you are currently watching on our YouTube stream, you've already noticed that what I predicted would happen when Paulie gave me the great gift, the gift I've used more than any other so far, of these great T-shirts. What are they called again?
True Classics.
True Classic tees. I said, but if you guys wear them, we're going to end up one day like in the same color matching, because Paulie gave me like 10 T-shirts and all kinds of different colors, but Woods wears them, Paulie wears them, and it's not going to be long before one day we show up in exactly the same T-shirt. And it took 2 days into 2024. Woods and I are both in our olive green tees this morning.
Now I notice yours still has the lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You don't that's not a move you do when you get a new shirt. Do you wash it? You don't wash it.
No, I wear
away.
it once, then I wash it.
But then you have the lines.
Yeah. I have lost some. I have folding lines, but
He said, "Yeah."
after I wash them, I don't hang them up. I fold them up and they have lines anyway, even after I wash them.
You don't hang your.
I don't hang my
T-shirts.
T-shirt.
Okay.
I put them in a drawer in my dresser.
All right.
I have a T-shirt drawer.
It's weird how people do their different things. I think
I hang almost everything.
I hang almost everything as
Yeah.
well. I fold my pants. My pants are all folded.
We've established, though, you have more closet space in your house than I have in my house.
My closet is our closet was one of the big selling points of our home. The cul-de-sac and the master closet. I walked in and said, finally. It was as big as my first studio apartment. I'm not kidding you. If Hannah snores or anything, if I had a little fold-down bed in there, I could sleep in there. That's how it's fantastic. That was part of my house.
That was one of the sacrifices that we made when we loved our house, but it came with very little closet space. And when we first got it, Shelley had almost all of it. We remodeled later to add a walk-in closet, but that's all Shelley. So now I at least have, one side of kind of a, one of the sliding door closet on the side of the room, but that's all I've got. So
that's all you have.
I saved that for
the
TV jackets and the slacks and stuff, and the dress shirts.
Dress shirts
are what get hanging up, but everything else has to go in the dresser. So today, Woods and I matchy.
They're great shirts, aren't they?
They are they're comfortable.
They look good.
They are just well fitted.
They are. What's the name of it? True Classic, right?
True Classic, yeah.
Yeah. Found this store in Chicago. I'd never heard of it before, and walked in, bought one shirt, and I went, well, I'll be back. 100%, I will be back.
So I want to get into one of the topics from our break during the holidays. Erik Greupner gave an interview with the Union Tribune, and in that interview, he had one quote that I saw rankled some Padres fans.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how you guys feel about it, and I'm curious how the Tier 1s feel about it. We're going to talk about it coming up here.
I wonder if your perspective is different than mine and Paulie's, who didn't grow up here. That's the first thing I thought of. I said, I wonder if Ben is going to be offended isn't the right word, because I don't think it was super offensive. But did it rub you the wrong way as a native San Diegan and a lifelong Padres fan? Should you feel different about it than Paulie and I?
I think you might be a little bit surprised by my take, and we'll get opinions out there as well. But let me give you the one line that seemed to bother people the most.
Give the one line, and then we'll do the whole.
And then we'll do the whole thing when we come back,
because we're media.
We'll get your
That's
thoughts
what we
as
do.
Well. But in the Union Tribune, Erik Greupner said, if a fan fell asleep 3 years ago and woke up to see the caliber of players we had under long-term contracts, they would be pretty surprised.
Yep.
And I saw that, and I saw the reaction to that, and I sat on it for a few days before I said, well, how do I feel about that comment?
All I saw was the reaction first. So my timeline blew up. And I'm reading this, and I'm going, oh, boy, they've latched on. Oh, God, they've latched on. Oh, they've latched on. And then I read the story, and I'll give you how I felt about it next.
I will say this. Now we've had Erik Greupner on many times. Like Erik Greupner,
Love Erik Greupner.
Has done a lot of good things as CEO of the Padres. Could have phrased that a little bit better.
Hey, who among us, right?
Could have phrased that one a little bit better, and I understood some of the reactions that I actually saw from Padres fans right there.
As did I.
We will talk about that. Get your reactions, 833-288-0973. You can tweet us at Ben and Woods or X us at Ben and Woods. Join us on the YouTube chat as well. It is Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. There's actually a reason why you don't see a lot of baseball teams do what the Padres have done over the last 5 years or so. It's Ben and Woods here on a Wednesday morning, 97.3 The Fan. And the reason exactly is the reaction to Erik Greupner's comments that were made a little over a week ago in the Union Tribune. The strategy of escalating payroll rapidly, which absolutely had the desired effect of creating an incredible amount of interest and excitement about the Padres, putting a competitive team on the field, elevating the San Diego Padres to a different stratosphere of Major League Baseball. All of those things worked almost to perfection. The only thing they didn't really get out of it was the World Series parade that they were looking for. And we'll see if that comes and the success follows. But the reason you don't see other teams doing it, Woods, is that once the genie is out of that bottle,
the precedent is set.
It's really hard, if not impossible, to put the genie back into the bottle.
The toothpaste back into the tube.
The toothpaste one of my is favorite. Out of the tube.
It's out. You took that thing of Crest and you went and you squirted it everywhere. Now you're going to try to put a little bit back in there to save it.
So when Erik Greupner said, I understand fans might focus on the departure of Soto and free agents we might not sign this year, but we feel like we have a great core group of players. If a fan fell asleep 3 years ago and woke up to see the caliber of players we had under long-term contracts, they would be pretty surprised. Even if it might seem lower the payroll than some fans expect at times moving ahead, it still is significantly higher than it historically has been. None of those statements are in any way incorrect.
Factually incorrect.
They are all very true statements by Erik Greupner. The problem is the Padres did such a good job of changing everybody's mindset about how they think about the Padres and what kind of organization the Padres are, that when the natural contraction to go back to a more sustainable, reasonable level happens, of course you're going to see some disappointment and even anger on the part of some of the fans who you got really excited the last couple of years about. It's unavoidable that was going to happen, even if that was always the plan. And the Padres have contended. A.J. Preller, Erik Greupner, they've always kind of contended that payroll is going to fluctuate a little up and down. You know, we'll take our stabs. You'll come back to more sustainable levels. That was always kind of indicated as the plan. Yet once everyone has seen what is possible and enjoyed the off seasons in which spending has blown their minds, it's hard to go back. It is hard to go back.
All right, let me ask you a question then. How would you, if you were the CEO and you were asked that question, how would you have phrased it? Because I think the thing that I saw was people tweeting, yeah, I absolutely would have been surprised to see extensions for Jake Cronenworth, Yu Darvish, even Manny Machado, long extensions. I would have been very surprised to see an 11-year deal for Xander Bogaerts. I know that as an organization, Benny, you hang your hat on some of those, and some of those could. Now, again, none of those have played out yet, so we don't really know, right? We don't really know how the Jake Cronenworth deal is going to turn out. We have our guesses. We don't really know how the Yu Darvish extension is going to turn out. We have our guesses based on years of baseball data and age. We don't know how the Manny Machado extension is going to turn out. We don't know what Xander Bogaerts going to look like in 6-7 years. How would you have phrased it differently?
I think I would simply say payrolls will go up, payrolls will go down, they will fluctuate over time, but we will always be ready to make moves that we think will help us win a World Series title.
I think that's a much safer answer because what you don't want to come off sounding like is Phil Castellini, who was the owner of the Reds. And if you guys remember, last year in April, when he said this, quote, well, where are you going to go? Let's start there. Sell the team to who? What would you do with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, and compete more? He's essentially saying you don't have anywhere else to go. And you know, people were making the comment, Reds baseball, because you're stuck with us. That's not necessarily wrong either. And I think in our market especially, you never want your team to take on that kind of attitude, though. What have I been saying for all offseason? Being a fan of a baseball team or any team is, here's your meal, here's your soup, eat the soup. And if you don't want to eat the soup, you go to bed hungry. It's what I tell my 6-year-old. Hey, if you don't want to eat this, then you don't eat, right? Like, you're kind of in that position as a fan anyway. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to take it laying down. Doesn't mean you have to willfully walk up and hand your money over for a ticket or buy beer or hot dogs or merch. They do have a small point, though. If you want to be a Padres fan, you kind of got to ride with the squad. That said, I thought it was probably worded the wrong way because I think, again, you open yourself up to now criticism of some of those long-term deals, right? Because, again, a lot of people would say, I think some of those deals, Eric, I did. I just woke up. I'm Rip Van Winkle. Nice to meet you, former season ticket holder. I just woke up from a 3-year nap, and I'm wondering to myself why we're all signed to long-term extensions, limiting our flexibility moving forward as we do have a young crop of players coming up, right? That you open yourself up for that criticism.
Absolutely. Now, while I agree, it wasn't phrased really well. There was one general fan reaction that I also disagreed with, and I want to get to that coming up. First, let's get a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple things to watch out for. A wheelbarrow reported in lanes northbound side of the 805 before Mesa College. There's a pickup truck over to the right shoulder, an attempt to retrieve that. Also northbound 15 before Miramar Way, we are getting reports of an accident involving several vehicles that appears to be blocking middle lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So that comment came out in the UT, and there was a lot of online reaction. And one thing that I saw, tweets like this one from Brian. Erik Greupner conveniently left out the difference in ticket prices from 3 years ago. And yes, obviously ticket prices, Petco Park, the cost of attending a ball game has gone up in recent years. And part of that is due to the Padres payroll going up. But I don't know if you've noticed in the world, the price of everything has gone up. I laugh when people say, have you seen how much a fast food hamburger costs? Everything costs more. Yeah. That is the nature of the world. Guess what? Everything costs more than it did when you were a kid as well. Prices will go up. And when you're running a business, whatever business you're running, Padres fans out there, I'm sure there are many business owners among you that are listening. What do you charge for your goods or services?
I charge $0 for my services.
You charge
zero.
You charge exactly what the market
That's what I'm worth.
will bear. You don't charge too much because then no one buys what you're offering. But you also don't charge way less than people are willing to pay, because why would you do that if you're running a business? But and right now, what the Padres are charging apparently is appropriate enough that they are filling Petco Park almost to capacity every single game. So why would you not set the ticket prices at a level that will fill your ballpark? Now, if the Padres and they increased ticket prices again, find that, well, all of a sudden attendance has dropped by significant numbers, guess what happens? They have to lower prices on tickets to get you to come into the ballpark.
You saw what happened at Snapdragon with SDSU football.
Correct.
Right? I mean, those tickets were out of control for a while. I think if the reports are correct, that J.D. Wicker had to take a good, long, hard look at some of those prices and say, these don't match up to the product that we have on the field right now, so they have made some changes. They have made some cuts. Now, that program should be more exciting moving forward, and expect those prices to, again, elevate. I think what hurts is, if people are making this point in the chat, if I went to sleep in 2020, Rip Van Winkle did, right? That would have been right after the Padres won that short season. They won a playoff series or whatever against the Cardinals. If I woke up, I would have looked back at all these long-term extensions and these big players that we signed, and I would have said to myself, wow, I'm surprised we haven't been more successful in those 3 years. And I think that's a very, very fair take and assessment. So, certainly not it. But again, as somebody that didn't grow up here, I can see why people that did grow up here and are longtime 40, 50-year fans of the team went, hey, you're telling me to just shut up and take it? Is that what you're telling me to do? You're telling me to just shut up and take it. And I can understand why it ruffled some feathers.
The Padres are not immune to the same market forces that impact just about every professional college team out there. That's why 2024 is such a pivotal year here for the San Diego Padres. Because, and I'm not saying this to I'm cheering for them. I'm a Padres fan, so I want them to do well. If they struggle this year, and they can't even match last year's record, and the win total goes down, and they're not in a playoff race, they're not competitive, they will quickly see those market forces come to bear. They will not continue to set attendance records every single year unless the product on the field matches what fan expectations are coming to. Now, I think they've got a shot this year. If they surprise some people and if they win 92 games and go on a playoff run, Petco Park's going to continue to be packed. Yeah. But if they have a tough first half of the season and they're 12 games out of a playoff spot in July and August, Petco Park is not going to be as full as it was the last couple of years, and that will be because of bad decisions that the organization has made, particularly the general manager, by not putting the winning product on the field that they have been trying to put onto the field.
No question about it. And I think what you're seeing from Phil Castellini and the Reds, to use them in this parallel comparison, nobody went to their games last year. Nobody. They traded away a bunch of talent. The only reason you would go to a Reds game last year is maybe to watch Hunter Green pitch, maybe see Joey Votto's last at bat, a couple of guys that you want to see. But for the most part, so what did they do this offseason?
Well, they had two choices. They could drastically reduce ticket prices to try to get people to watch the same product they've been putting on the field, or
they could spend money.
They could spend on players, try to put a better product on the field, and see if they can get more people to buy tickets at the prices that they had set from last year.
I think you nailed it, though, when you said what a critical season this is for our beloved San Diego Padres in 2024. I mean, pins and needles, I'm sure, for some of those guys. Obviously, A.J. Preller, you got to be a little nervous going into the season. If you started the season today, Ben, it's not a complete roster. It's not a roster more than likely that can hang. It's, again, still top-heavy. You don't have a lot of depth at all. You don't have a lot of depth in the starting rotation. You got a lot of question marks. Bullpen maybe is fortified. We'll talk about that at 7 o'clock. But really, man, you're hoping and praying that this team can play some good baseball and go on a run, because you do want to keep, well, as they say, you do want to keep the vibes high at Petco Park. And when the vibes are high at Petco Park, this city shows out like nobody else. It's great.
Now, what happens if the Padres do struggle and attendance starts to dip? Well, then, as a ownership, you're forced to make even tougher decisions. And that's when usually most teams will pivot and they will make major changes, like sweeping changes to a front office. And that's why this year for A.J. Preller, I believe, is also absolutely make or break. I know he's got a contract through 2026. But if the Padres don't, I think, surprise some people, if the Padres are disappointing again this year, I feel like the Padres were going to have no other choice, because the fans will want to see the team doing something to indicate that this is not going the way we thought it would be going, and we can't continue to put the faith in the person that we had put the faith in to put a winning product on the field.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I just feel like this is a make or break year for A.J. Preller. This one right now, and he's having to do it because of his own mistakes. He's having to do it with one arm tied behind his back this time.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily. I mean, a lot of GMs in baseball would absolutely murder someone for Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts locked up with Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove at the top of their rotation, and then $50 million. They would murder for a $200 million payroll. They absolutely would. I always go back to that scene in Moneyball where they get knocked out in the playoffs, and he's sitting in the owner's office, and he's like, I need more money. And the guy's like, you can't have any more money. He's like, what are we talking about here? I'm in this thing to win a championship. I need more money. He's like, not giving you more money. Do what you do. Go out and GM. He's having to really, really GM like a madman, not for the first time in his career, but first time in recent years where you can't just money whip a guy to come here. So he's going to have to really, really do his job. By the way, so far, it's pretty decent. You know, if this deal that we're going to talk about at 7 o'clock comes through, yeah, that's what you call maybe a potential diamond in the rough for the Padres, and getting Yuki Matsui and some of the other guys that they've added, you know, fortifying some of the need for arms, Ben. I mean, so far, so good. But he's still got a ton of work left to do.
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying, well, wasn't it last year? That was the make or break year, and he shouldn't even be getting this chance this year. Honestly, I don't think it would have. It's not really fair to then saddle a new general manager right now and go, hey, we need you to fix AJ's mess, and we're also going to need you to reduce the payroll. AJ's the one who has to try to dig himself out of what he is kind of dug himself into. Yep. And I actually think he's probably the right person to try to make that attempt. Now, if it doesn't work out, you're going to have to go in a different direction.
I think so.
Don't you? I mean, you're going to have to go in a different direction. If they don't show signs of the farm, you know, coming in and starting to help out and turn, you know, internal answers to becoming a winning team on the field, there's going to be no arguments really left to keep AJ. You'll have given him the chance to do it with free agents and big money. You'll have given him the chance to do it with the farm, make trades. However, he's given every opportunity at that point to take the Padres team to the next level. And if he can't do it in any of those fashions, it's time to move on to someone else. Yeah. But I think this year is still, I'm coming at it with an open mind. Open mind for what AJ is doing. I agree with you. I've liked what he's done so far, you know, on a limited basis this offseason. I think he did as good as he could have done on the Soto trade. And now, you know, some of these smaller free agent signings are addressing some of the needs that the team has had going into the offseason.
The Josh Pod tweets in and says, how could the Padres foresee the Bally's nonsense? They did know. They did know it was coming. It did not, you know, sweep their legs out from under them. They knew it was coming. There was no solution.
At worst, they knew it was a possibility.
Correct.
That it could happen around that time.
And so now, hopefully, that's something that's going on behind the scenes that we're, you know, not privy to, of getting a new, some TV deal that's going to, you know, give them a little influx of cash as well and help right the ship. But really what it boils down to is how well do the guys play on the field? And that's going, if they play well, and they play inspired baseball, yeah, Petco's going to be jamming. It's going to be jamming this year. I have no doubts about it. You know, and we'll talk about the new addition next. We'll talk about some of the guys that are here that are playing in the. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Dominican Winter League is going on right now, and the birthday boy from yesterday had himself quite a day. We'll talk about that. There's a lot to get to. And, you know, again, you're hoping that the play on the field, Ben, is inspiring enough to fill the ballpark.
Yeah, the Padres have one thing going for them, and it's that we want them to do well. And I don't mean we as a show, and I don't mean we as 97.3 The Fan because we're the Padres flagship station. I mean we as San Diego.
We as a city.
We want the Padres to do well. We are ready to accept if this team jumps in and looks like, hey, this is a fun, exciting ball club this year, and they're starting to win some games and they're making some noise, we're more than happy to want to support the San Diego Padres. But they are going to need to do that.
It's an interesting question of fandom, though, because if they stumble out of the gate, are you not going to support them? Because I still will. That's fandom, though, right?
It is. I mean, I'm going to still want them to do well.
Sure.
All right, let's talk about the new potential acquisition and take on Woods coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Padres bullpen seems to be taking some sort of shape here as we get a month out of spring training. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Last night, it was reported, and I think John Heyman had some of the news, that the Padres are close, nearing a deal with right-handed reliever from the KBO, Korean Baseball Organization, same place where Ha-Seong Kim played, with Woo Suk Go, right-handed pitcher who was a closer, had a 2.39 ERA since the start of the 2019 season, and figures to occupy a late inning role for the Padres alongside, of course, their other overseas signing, Yuki Matsui, from over the break. So 2 Asian imports into the Padres bullpen, one right-handed, one left-handed, to make up for the loss of Josh Hader and some of the other pieces that they no longer have in the pen this year. Now, it's not official. We have not seen any word from the San Diego Padres on this signing. But your thoughts, Woodsy, on a potential addition to the pen?
I saw that John Heyman said, hey, the Padres have their new closer. I think we should probably pump the brakes on that.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me at all.
He has struck out over 30% of the batters he faced in each of the last 2 seasons, but he's also walked 11.6% of the batters in 2023 and posted a 3.68 ERA. Now, listen, he's got a low 90s cutter. He's got touches, I think he sits 95 on the fastball, but has ramped it up to 96, 97, which is fantastic. I mean, comes in, he's deceptive. He looks nasty. I watched the video of him. Again, you watch a guy like this throw and you go, how does anyone ever hit anything ever? He spins it really, really well from what I can tell. So I'm excited about it. And again, I don't know the terms of the deal. I saw weird kind of tweets, and I wasn't sure if they were accurate or not. I saw a 1-year deal. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like us for sure. But it's interesting over there, too, because they have to pay 20% of his contract value to his team, the LG Twins. Teams owe 20% if the contract is less than $25 million. And it scales from there all the way to 15% if the contract is over $50 million.
But that's not what they're not looking at.
No,
that big time of
not
deal.
That big time of deal
with Go.
But he's 25 years old.
Yeah, younger than Matsui.
Yep, 25 years old, and again, bullpen piece at this point, and again, a diamond in the rough potentially, a guy that you went out and I didn't know about him until yesterday. I was thinking about it too, Benny. Baseball's hard enough to cover with prospects and the draft, and I'm still blown away by everyone that can take the time to find all the best players in the Japanese league, the Dominican leagues, all the leagues that they have around the world. This is a pretty good move for the Padres. If this guy looks anything like the video that I saw of him, he's going to be pretty solid out of the bullpen for the guy.
This is A.J. Preller trying to find an area where the Padres can perhaps be ahead of the curve on other teams. It's hard to find those spots now. I mean, every team invests a lot into their scouting, even into international now. The Padres were always kind of ahead of the game there, but other teams have caught up. As you know, they've gone more into the Dominican and South America. The Padres still do that, but they have certainly done their homework in Asia. And AJ goes over there, does direct scouting of players that he thinks can help the San Diego Padres. And apparently he thinks that Woo Suk Go of the Korean Baseball Organization can be one of those. Now, you said pump the brakes a little bit on being the closer for the Padres. Maybe he'll get an opportunity, but I'd almost say it doesn't even make any sense that you'd have him closing games for you, at least right away. From what we know, the Japan's baseball league is at a higher level. I mean, that's what everyone has said when Ha-Seong Kim came over. Korean Baseball Organization is good, but it's not quite at the level that the Japan baseball is at, which is not quite at the level that Major League Baseball is at. Yuki Matsui has a lot of experience as a closer in Japan, a lot of success as a closer in Japan. He's older, for Go to come in, and obviously he's thrown well in Korea. You've got to imagine that the learning curve is going to be a little steeper for him. It's going to be a little tougher to adjust to Major League Baseball hitters as he comes over. that to have him just jump right in as the closer that can't possibly be the plan of the San Diego Padres.
I mean, I think that I don't even know if they know a plan, and I don't think you want to really have a plan.
They had a plan. They had Josh Hader signed through 2023, and they extended Robert Suarez with the idea that he was going to be the closer once Josh Hader was gone. That was pretty clearly the plan. Now,
then again,
Matsui comes in, Go comes in. You have people who have closed before. It's great to have depth. But to say that when Heyman says Padres have their new closer, that to me doesn't make a lot of sense at this point. They have another option in the bullpen.
You could have just said to add a piece to fortify the bullpen. 65.8% ground ball rate, which is really, really good as well. So he spins it up there, gets it on the ground. I mean, look, we'll see where everyone slots into in their roles. We'll know that in a couple of months. When we're out at spring training, too, talking to A.J. Preller about what he envisions for his bullpen, Mike Schilt, of course, as well. But you keep adding weapons, value weapons, guys that you find, guys that maybe other people weren't in on. You still are really hoping, if you're a Padres fan right now, Benny, you're hoping that A.J. Preller has identified 2 or 3 Waka Lugo types to go after and land at least one of them, if not 2. Those guys were both kind of late additions last year, so I'm expecting they're probably, because the market for pitching, as we know, is sky high. I mean, it's just sky high. It's not going to remain that way. If you can wait it out, a little bit longer, then I think you'll be okay. And I think you can find a couple of those value plays like he did last year. Both of those worked out tremendously. Again, we're all going to sit here and lament Michael Waka at $16 million.
I worry now that Lucas Giolito's going for $19 million per.
Well,
there's going to be any bargains out there anymore.
Give it 3 weeks. Can you wait 3 weeks, to see what happens? And really,
I mean, there's no one that I'm dying to jump out and sign right now anyway.
Me neither.
I mean, premium like Blake Snell is still out there, but in terms of bargains, there's no one that I've got to absolutely have that guy right now, in my pitching rotation.
No question about it. So we'll see. We'll see what shakes out. But this has not been an official announcement yet by the Padres. It will not be official until they announce it, or at least Jeff Passan announces it. So I don't want to say take it with a grain of salt, because there's a ton of smoke and fire around it. But we've been wrong before. We've been burned before. And hopefully we don't get burned this time.
Need a contestant for Take on Woods? You could be the first to beat Woodsy in the new year. He won yesterday. Our music trivia challenge is just a couple of minutes away. 833-288-0973. Call us now. 833-288-0973. Get ready to play our game. Paulie will take your call here if you dial us up. Now, it comes on the same day that we saw some new details on the Yuki Matsui contract that came out. Associated Press. We knew that he signed a 5-year, $28 million deal while we were on break. Some of those new details include some bonuses if he does become the closer. Obviously, his agent is thinking of the possibility that Matsui could be the closer, because apparently he can make up to $33.6 million if he becomes the closer. There is a no-trade clause that Matsui has in his deal. He gets the hotel suite on the road. He gets round-trip plane tickets back to Japan every year. These are fairly common provisions nowadays for major international free agent signings, but we saw some of those details yesterday. There's also, just like Yoshinobu Yamamoto has, some interesting opt-outs where if he has Tommy John surgery, he can't opt out until later. But if he doesn't have it, he can opt out of his contract sooner. That was one of the details that came out in the Yamamoto Dodgers deal as well. 12 years, they said, he's locked in. But no, there are a couple of opt-outs in a few years based on the health of his elbow. And that seems to be a new trend in these contracts in the offseason, putting in these provisions where, hey, we're signing you long-term, but if you're out for a season and a half, we want to have more control over you.
Sure.
If you're healthy for the first few years, maybe you're going to get a chance to opt out and hit free agency again at some point.
I have no problem with that.
No, I mean, it makes sense for both sides a little bit. It protects the team a little bit. Like, hey, Mike Clevenger, hey, we got 2 years. Well, you actually got 3 months of Mike Clevenger after he comes back
Think
from
about Drew Pomeranz.
elbow surgery. Teams want to be protected against injury, but players also want to have guaranteed money if they're hurt and the chance to opt out if they're healthy and hit the free agent market again. So we're seeing more of that as well. Got a contestant on the line. Let's get to it. It is time for Take on Woods. Say good morning to Robert. Is that you?
Morning.
Morning. Robert or Bob? What do you prefer? Bobby?
No. Robert.
Robert. All right, Robert, you are up.
What does it say, Ben? It says Robert.
It says Robert. I just want to make sure, I don't want to be formal. If some people when people call me Benjamin, no one really.
Bobby.
All right, Robert, here's what we've got for you. If you can beat or tie Woods, we'll put you into that grand prize drawing for the trip to Las Vegas, 2 nights at the Westgate, dinner at Edge Steakhouse, tickets to the Manilow Show, all in front of you if you can just battle him and take him down today in one of these 3 categories. The mystery category, the grand old game, those are songs that include lyrics about baseball, and our new category, Make the Call, 5 songs that are all about phone calls. So, mystery category, the grand old game, or Make the Call, Robert?
Oh, man. Mystery.
Ooh, going with the mystery category. All right, kind of in the dark here, but here's how it works. Mystery category, 5 questions, just like normal, but the first question will help you unlock all the other answers to the puzzle. So if you get that one, things get a little bit easier after that. 60 seconds. You can always pass if you don't know one. We'll come back to it at the end. 2-second song starts it. Paulie will play some music. You give me the title and the artist, and you'll score that point. We'll go on from there. Robert, you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
Time on the clock, 60 seconds. It is the mystery category. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Robert. Let's take on Woods.
Pass.
Which song by Jennifer Lopez is also a reference to her famous neighborhood nickname?
Danny on the Block.
Good enough. Which singer is most famous for the 2 duets, Up Where We Belong with Joe Cocker and The Time of My Life with Bill Medley?
Pass.
Which song about a murder was the opening track on the 2004 debut album for The Killers, eventually becoming one of their most popular songs?
Pass.
Which 2004 American Idol finalist is only the 2nd American woman ever to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award?
Fantasia.
Incorrect. Let's go back to the 2-second song. A little more there.
Pass.
Which singer is most famous for 2 duets, Up Where We Belong with Joe Cocker and The Time of My Life with Bill Medley?
Time. Pass.
All right, that was a tough one. Mystery category can always be tough. So you got Jenny from the block, but so Jenny was the key there. It's 867-5309 Jenny by Tommy Two-Tone. Jennifer Warrens, Jenny was a friend of mine, and Jennifer Hudson. All Jenny's on our answer today. So let's bring Woods in. You got the one though. You're not out of it. Woods gets the same 5 questions. 60 seconds back on the clock. Trying to go 2-0 here in 2024. Time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Robert.
867-5309 by Tommy Two-Tone.
Correct. Which song by Jennifer Lopez is also a reference to her famous neighborhood nickname?
Jenny from the Block.
Correct. Which singer is most famous for 2 duets, Up Where We Belong with Joe Cocker and The Time of My Life with Bill Medley?
Her name is Jennifer Warrens?
Correct. Which song about a murder was the opening track on the 2004 debut album for The Killers? Eventually,
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Correct. Which 2004 American Idol finalist is only the 2nd American woman ever to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award?
Obviously, it's a Jenny.
EGOT. Yes, very good, Paul.
Jenny. No idea.
Jennifer Hudson.
But
you got 4. You got the win today.
I wasn't
over
thinking
too
Robert.
locked in on Jenny.
I got too locked in on Jenny. Jennifer Hudson.
Well, you had
awesome.
the Jennifer Warrens too, so
That's true.
there was Jenny's and Jennifer's, but yeah, that was a
Give me
mystery
that-
category
give me
actually.
That Killers song, Paulie.
Jenny
That's
was a friend
so
of mine,
good.
but Robert, thank you for playing.
Thank
Try
you.
again later in the month, but Woodsy remains perfect here in 2024 on the Jenny's category.
I'm your closer so far.
So far,
2 for 2.
you have not let one lead slip away yet on
no,
Take on Woods.
Not one.
We've got Don't Do This coming up, including the expected punishment for the owner of the Carolina Panthers.
Drop in the bucket.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
For him. Drop in the bucket.
And I can tell you how much of a drop in the bucket it actually is.
I saw that too. It's incredible.
Coming up next.
And we have some audio of our beloved Prince wrecking shop last night in the DR. It's so
on his
good
birthday.
on his birthday.
Coming up next after a check of traffic with Ben Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Got a couple of franchise shortstops today on Don't and Do This. One hopefully heading in a positive direction for the San Diego Padres. One decidedly less so for the Tampa Bay Rays. Woodsy, why don't you get us started today?
Pretty wild story while we were out on vacation, Ben. You saw a lot of tweets coming out from Hector Gomez saying that Wander Franco, who is the former starting shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays, was let go last year, kind of dismissed for alleged relationships with underage girls. He was on the run in the Dominican Republic, Ben. He was on the run. They went to his home to arrest him. They could not find him. He was evading, right?
He did not show up to a meeting with prosecutors that he was supposed to be at, and once that happened, essentially the warrant was out for his arrest.
Yep.
Now, he did eventually turn himself in, show up for that meeting on last week, right?
He did contact his attorneys. He actually posted a weird picture of him with his two attorneys. He's in the middle or flanked on either side, and he's smiling from ear to ear before this meeting. It was a weird time for a photo op, in my opinion, certainly. But he did end up going to that meeting, but he was arrested. The reason he was arrested, though, was for evading the meeting.
Right.
That's very important
He hasn't
to note.
been charged in
yet.
the underage relationship investigation as of yet. Now, that may still come, in the future, but right now he's simply facing the charges that, hey, when you have to meet with a prosecutor, you don't show up, then that's a crime just in and of itself.
Correct.
So, obviously, there's a lot to go on this story.
Oh,
but,
my God, man. It's one of the, if it all comes out the way that they're reporting it now, what are we doing, man? Like, what a fall from grace for that young man.
Talked yesterday about the incident with Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper on Sunday in Jacksonville at the end of his team's 26-0 loss to the Jags. Looked like he got frustrated with the Jags fans who were sitting just in front of his open-air suite, grabbed the remaining part of his drink, and just tossed the contents right out onto the fans. It was caught on an Instagram video by someone who was in a suite next door, went viral all over the place. Of course, the NFL had to issue some sort of reaction. They did yesterday, fining David Tepper $300,000 for unacceptable conduct. All NFL personnel expected to conduct themselves at all times in ways that respect our fans and favorably reflect on the team and the NFL, the league said in a statement. Now, Tepper released his own statement where he said, I should have let NFL stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. He did not apologize for what he did. He just said, I accept the punishment for my actions.
How much does that sting David Tepper?
Pretty bad. I mean, $300,000, according to Darren Rovell, who says David Tepper's worth is $20.6 billion. So a $300,000 fine to him is the equivalent to an average American of a fine of $1.77. That's $2. That's like $328,000 worth of fine.
I just paid my fine to you.
You did. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Can I keep this?
Yeah.
Or do I have to give it back?
Well,
Is this just a prop? Or
No, that's yours. I want my 33 cents back.
You don't have to apologize, though.
No, I've just paid my fine.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think he has to apologize. If he wants to pay the fine, $300,000, if it's worth throwing a drink on someone for $300,000, I guess you don't have to apologize.
You guys ever had a drink thrown in your face?
No.
Me neither.
Really?
Yeah. Why does that surprise you? I'm an idiot.
I guess if anybody on the show was going to get one, it wasn't going to be Ben.
Why would it be me?
I guess it could have been me.
I'm sure Hannah has wanted to a million times. Wine across the table or something.
You sometimes
poke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe just one comment too far.
Boy, I don't know how I would react. That would shock me.
Now, in sitcoms, they always react very stoically. They just stand there and take it.
There.
No one ever reacts. In real life, if someone actually threw a drink on you.
Oh, if there's ice cubes, too?
It hurts.
Yeah. That wouldn't
cold.
That wouldn't be a lot of fun.
You ever been slapped in the face?
No. For getting cheeky.
Cheeky.
You've been hit.
Like in a fight.
I've been punched in the face. That does not feel good.
No.
God, that. What hurts worse, punching someone in the face or getting punched in the face? Punching someone in the face hurts worse.
It hurts worse than getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
That makes no sense
at all. If you get punched in the nose, though,
oh, you're done.
That's the worst.
Got punched in the jaw. Got punched in the side of the head.
You're saying it hurts the person's fist more to hit you in the face.
Somebody, yeah.
Then why would anyone ever punch someone in the face?
Blind.
Where should you punch someone? I don't get in fights, so I don't really know the answer.
I don't get in fights either, but I think. Well, it depends. Is this a?
What are you not going to hurt yourself?
So if a guy comes up to you on the street and is like, he doesn't have a weapon, but he's like, "Give me your wallet. I'm going to kick your ass." Hit him in the throat.
Okay.
Right. Like if you're in a fight with like I don't know. Some listener that thinks you suck, which would never happen to you, but it would definitely happen to me, that's probably a different type of fight, I would imagine. Right? That's probably more of like a slap fight. Like, but maybe the stomach, like right in the solar plexus. Let me punch you in the solar plexus.
Please don't.
Oh, I think it would. That would get you. Take the wind
out
of
their sails. Knock the wind out of you.
But it's not.
I've had the wind knocked out of me before.
It's not as cool.
Fight,
it's not as cool as punching somebody in the face, though, right? If you hit somebody in the gut.
I mean, in the movies, it's always one punch to the jaw. Yeah, guy goes down. Wham. Guy maybe shakes his hand for a second, and he's good to go.
He's good to go. Let's go drink.
It's never that simple in real life.
No, it hurts. It hurts. Probably because none of us really know how to punch, the right way. We're not fighters. We're lovers.
Even the people who do know how to punch, like boxers,
still hurts.
They put gloves on.
Yeah, there's gloves and tape.
Yeah,
layers of tape. All right.
Punching's not a natural action for everybody.
Not for everybody. That's exactly right. All right, we got some audio last night. It was Fernando Tatis Jr.'s birthday.
25 years old.
Still crazy. He's just 25.
I showed this highlight last night, and Vern, who was running the teleprompter at Channel 10, goes, well, no wonder he's gotten in some trouble. He's a baby.
He's a baby.
Still. I didn't know he was that young. He's been around for so long. Yeah, he's just 25 years old.
25 years old for this young man. Goes out last night playing for his team Estrellas Orientales in the Dominican Republic. And his team is down. They're trailing, I believe, in the 9th inning.
10th inning.
10th inning. Fernando Tatis
Tied
Jr.
3-3 in the 10th.
Tied 3-3 in the 10th. Fernando Tatis Jr. strides to the plate.
En la Liga Dominicana. Bueno, Tatis está sacando un batazo profundo que va buscando atrás. El patrullero derecho sigue atrás. Se metió en la pista. ¡Ante seguridad! Perdí la conexión con ella. Tan lejos que ya no la veo. Jonrón enorme de Fernando Tatis.
You couldn't tell he grounded out to second.
No, he had a nice. He was at the time he hit the bomb. He was 3 for 4. But I didn't know because they tweeted 4 for 3, 4-3.
Yeah, they do things different than we do.
Flipped it.
Yeah.
So, but his team ended up winning. The closer blew it in the bottom of the 9th, and then they came back and won 8-5. So he is looking good. He's making plays.
Now, how many games has he played? How many games does he have left?
I believe this is the playoffs right now. I believe they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if they win, then they go to the Caribbean Series, which is right before spring training. I don't think he's going to play in that. I've heard that if they get that far, he'll back off for a few weeks before spring training. So I've got to imagine that he's into his last week or so, probably, of the Dominican League play. But, hey, yeah, I mean, 2 doubles, home run, getting to get those swings in the offseason, which he thinks helps him.
He's a baseball
We're
player.
obviously worried about injury, but you also have to understand if there's benefits to Fernando Tatis Jr. doing this, the Padres could reap those benefits next season by having a guy who's more locked in from the start of the year because he got to do, his offseason program that he feels gets him in the best shape to be ready, soon as the bell sounds in 2024.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was in favor of this. Just still hoping that he makes it out unscathed and not dinged up at all. But he looks fantastic so far. Yeah, driving the ball to the opposite field with authority. There was an Oppo Taco last night. It was amazing, and that's what we need from that kid all year.
It was a birthday bash, and that is don't and do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, NFL head coach v. radio hosts.
When you got the penalty and moved it to
go ahead and say it.
Oh, God.
Say it. Both of you.
Oh, God.
What?
Say it.
Oh, boy.
How would we react?
Oh, boy.
in a similar situation. That is coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This segment is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Actually, they brought you Take on Woods, and it was my bad. I didn't mention it earlier, but happy to have them on board as a Take on Woods sponsor going forward. Thank you to Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Woods, during our break, you mentioned that you were going to be saying Happy New Year for a while.
I will be.
What's the statute of limitations on Happy New Year?
They did a whole Curb Your Enthusiasm about it.
Did they?
It's brilliant. Yeah, you need to watch that show. I can't.
My son,
you more than
my
anybody.
youngest
Yeah, you
son has
more than
gotten
anyone.
into it. I was actually watching an episode with him the other day
It's
from
incredible.
the first season.
Yeah, it's incredible. They did a whole. He's like, all right, enough. That's 3 days ago. Happy New Year. And I'm going to do it for a while. Happy New Year.
I'm okay.
The whole month of January.
Throughout January.
Yeah.
If you say it in February, okay, we've moved on.
Yeah, it's been a
we're
psycho.
Solidly into the new year at that point.
Yeah, let's say I'm going to call it even maybe even January 15th. Right,
Half of the first month.
Yeah, half of the first month.
I mean, if you say it like on January 30th, it does feel.
Yeah.
New Year's, that was a long time
Long
ago.
time
man.
ago.
But I'm okay if you blurt it out in January. I'm not going to laugh at you.
Yeah.
If you said it in March, I'm going to say, "What? Come on, all right, we've moved on now."
We've more than moved on. This was pretty phenomenal stuff, Ben, and so sometimes radio hosts can stick their foot in their mouths, and I guess in this case it would be his fingers. But there was a guy in Detroit, Jim Costa, who had tweeted this. He's a radio host in Detroit. He says, even though it appears the Lions got screwed on a successful 2-point conversion, I keep going back to Dan Campbell losing his cool. It was a lunatic decision to go for it 7 yards out and then 4 yards out. There's aggressive, and then there's hurting your team.
Yeah, we haven't played. I can try to find that audio. The post-game audio with him at the podium, like he was chippy with the reporter, and he was just understandably upset.
Sure.
Try to pull that up here.
You made it seem like Jim Costa stepped in something, though. What?
No, well, he did.
I don't know that he did.
Well, calling something a lunatic decision, I think is listen. I would say that
hyperbole.
It's hyperbole, yeah.
But you can back that argument up. Here's Dan Campbell after the game, yeah, on Sunday or Saturday.
The frustration in your face. Can you just explain where it comes from right now? Is it the
What would you be? Would you be frustrated right now?
I mean, is it on the call? Is it on the execution? Is it what is?
I don't like losing, Dave, and that's what happened. We lost, and that bothers me. It bothers me. I don't like having an L, so that's the frustration. I'm sorry. I don't mean it at you.
Okay. All right, so Jim Costa.
That was a different person.
Different person
reporter.
altogether. Jim Costa tweets this, and he has a weekly. Dan Campbell does on their show. So it was Costa and Mike Stone. I'll bet you anything that's not his real name. By the way, I would literally bet my house that his name's not Mike Stone, just for the record. So they have him on the show, and they start to press him.
There are guys named Mike Stone.
I don't think so.
You really don't?
No, not a radio guy. No chance.
They're all pseudonyms.
No, yeah.
I went through the entire 13-minute interview to try to find this clip.
Yeah.
And the majority of the interview was about that play. I mean, it was the most recent game, very highly controversial call, decision-making, and all of that. So here is, yes, like you said, they're pressing him about the call, and Dan Campbell turns this, and all three of us, when we heard this morning, we're like, oh my God. Like, imagine if this happened on our show.
Yep.
So here it is. This was 97-1 the ticket in Detroit.
Do you regret at all the decision to go for it from the 7?
Yeah, I told our offense. I think I said this before, and we're going for the win, and we're going to go down. We're going to score, and we're going for 2. And I wasn't coming off of that.
So if it was like 10 or 15, like a holding penalty, you still would have gone for it?
No, if we're getting outside the 10, no.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
Outside the 10 every week, good on good. We do it every week, O versus D.
Yeah, like when you got the penalty and moved it to
Go ahead and say it.
Oh, God.
Say it. Both of you.
What?
Say it. Say what you want to say.
I think from the 7, it's a low percentage play. I think your chances of winning are lower than if you kick the extra point.
I would like you would say it to anybody else. I'm on the radio. Say it like you want to say it.
Yeah. I thought it was a reckless decision.
Thank you.
Okay, but you don't regret it.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
I would have kicked the extra point from the 7, but as I said earlier, Dan, to Jim, from the 4, I had no problem with it because it's obviously a few yards closer, and you probably could have done it.
You know what? I say props to Jim Costa. Props to Dan Campbell as well. He is authentic. and genuine as it gets as an NFL head coach.
I love him so much, man.
But while
he always does we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this.
Bite your
and
kneecaps
off. It's amazing.
While Jim may have been a little hyperbolic when he called it a lunatic decision on X about going for it from the 7, he backed up his argument with, logic. If it's a 50-50 decision, go for it. I love the idea of being aggressive. If you kick the extra point, you're probably going to make it. Not 100%, but you're probably going to make it. What is it? 98% right now about that extra points are made, which gives you overtime, which gives you a 50% chance of winning the game. Going for it right there, it's close to around 50%. You feel like you've got the momentum. You want to step on the team's throat. Make the 2-point conversion, win the game right there. When you go back to the 7, though, there's data out there that will say you are not close to 50% to make it from the 7-yard line on a play. I don't know exactly what the percentage is, but I would think more like the 20 to 30% range of converting a 2-point conversion from the 7-yard line as opposed to the 2-yard line, which means you are now giving your team a 75% chance of losing that game because of your decision. That's a dumb decision by a head coach. It's an emotional, dumb decision. Whether it works or not, wouldn't you rather have a 50% chance to win the game than a 25% chance to win the game? And if my coach can't grasp the difference between those two, that is a problem. And Jim Costa called him out on that, and Dan handled it well. Jim handled it well, I thought.
And I thought Jim's tweet was great. And it actually
in that audio clip, listen, they were probably ripping that decision making, ripping it. And then they when they have him on the line, they're like, it was a low percentage.
Right.
Whereas an hour earlier, they're like, that was a bonehead decision.
Say what you want to say.
I think from the 7, it's a low percentage play. I think your chances of winning are lower than if you kick the extra point.
I would like you would say it to anybody else.
Say it like you would
I'm on the radio. Say it like you want to say it.
Yeah. I thought it was a reckless decision.
Okay. I loved his tweet after, too. He said, respect to Dan Campbell for today. He wanted the criticism to his face. He thanked me after. He's real. I do think it was reckless and a lunatic decision to go for it from the 7. I stand by it. Appreciate a coach who wants candid conversation. Wouldn't have it any other way. I'm jealous of that. I'm massively jealous.
I love it.
Of that. I love that Dan Campbell said, say it to me like you would say it to Paul, like you would say it to Ben.
I would also take a little bit of comfort from the fact, if I was a Lions fan, that Dan Campbell said, if it was a holding penalty and we were at the 13-yard line, I'm not doing it from there. Okay, so you're not completely reckless and putting my head down. Hey, I want to win it here. And I know we just took 2 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but we're throwing a Hail Mary to the end zone rather than kicking an extra point. Okay, he's not a complete buffoon, but I do think he made a decision that lowered his team's chances of winning the game at that point.
The candid conversation is something that is lacking, I think, from coaches, from GMs, from all sorts of people in this business. The candid conversation, the one that says, I want to know. There's a way to do it. There's a way not to. I remember vividly the Gabe Kapler audio from last year when it was demeaning. He demeaned someone instead of just saying, all right, let me give you the reason why I pinch hit Donovan Solano in that situation. I'll tell you my thinking. There's a way to do it, and there's a way to be looking at the guy and saying, wait, hold on.
You don't have to break the reporter down.
Right. You don't have to look at them and go, wait, Ben. Are you serious right now? That's what you would have done? There's a way to just say, look, I'm the manager, I'm the coach, I made the decision, and here's why I made it. I would do it again, or maybe in hindsight I wouldn't. The candid conversation. Everyone's they want to protect themselves, the brand, whatever it is, so much that you don't get a lot of candid conversations. That's why I'm insanely jealous that they have a coach like Dan Campbell to talk to.
On a similar note, I want to tell you what I am hoping for us on this show on a similar vein. We'll do that right after a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Scattered showers starting to hit parts of the North County. In fact, there was a solo spin out on the northbound 5 coastline. This is right before Basilone. That vehicle is in the center divide. Also around the county, things aren't looking too bad. Car fire has cleared up on northbound 805 near the 8. Might see a little residual slowing there. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Before our break, we had new Padres manager Mike Shildt on the show, and Woodsy asked Mike Shildt if he would be willing to do a weekly conversation with us here on this program. And Mike, to his credit, said, yeah, we'll try to make that happen. I hope that does happen, and I really hope that we can have a similar rapport with Mike Shildt as Dan Campbell has with Mike Costa, or Dan Costa and Mike Stone. What are their names? That I want
Mike Stone and Jeff Costa.
I would like it to be direct. I know that Mike Shildt knows more about baseball than I do.
Oh, absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to have an opinion. Tier 1s aren't allowed to have an opinion. And we'll challenge him, and hopefully he pushes back, and we can do so respectfully, but also in an entertaining way. And I'm looking forward to that over the course of the season. And I do hope that happens. There are some coaches, though, that you wouldn't really have that much interest in doing a weekly conversation with. And I didn't realize that, the last coach that I ever thought would have a weekly radio show, but does, is Bill Belichick. Of the New England Patriots.
What is the point?
He was doing his weekly yesterday and was asked about, his job security and whether this is the end. It's the only thing anyone's talking about with the Patriots. They're long out of it, eliminated from playoff contention. And he kind of gave his typical non-answer. It made headlines yesterday. He's on with WEEI's The Greg Hill Show every single week. And I must say, I feel bad for Greg Hill. How do you prepare for that? How do you ask questions of that? He just he gave the old, hey, whatever success I've had, I try to go about my job the same every week, win, lose, good years, bad years, whatever they are, which is more than he usually gives. But I guess if you're doing a radio interview, he knows he has to say something each week. Go ready for that week, the best you can to help your team win. After that game, move on to the next one at the end of the season. That's the end of the season. He doesn't ever say anything. Yet you have to talk to him every single week?
This is a fundamental disagreement that I've had with our boss, Adam. I've had it with Ben before. That, in my opinion, if we were in New England, I would not want that weekly. I would say this is a colossal waste of my time, a segment, and our audience's time.
It's tough because it's probably a very well-rated segment on WEEI.
Just because he is a big name, and like the biggest in New England, perhaps other than Tom Brady, right?
Which, by the way, I think the same radio station had weeklies with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick every week during the season.
Fantastic.
That's insane.
It's insane. Now, obviously baseball's a little bit different. It's longer, the whole thing. I get it, but
There's not one big game to talk about all week long.
I would love to have the skipper on every Friday, certainly, but it's a fundamental, and again, I'll just use him as the example. Sometimes AJ Preller, like there was one point this year where I said, well, he's not going to talk about it. He's not going to talk about anything. Why? Well, you need to have him on. Why? Well, because he's the GM. Yeah, but if he's not going to say anything, yeah, but he's still a big name. I go, well, what's the point though? If it's going to be an exercise in futility, just to have a big name on that doesn't say anything, that doesn't seem like a good use of my time.
I see your point. We've had this argument before, and to me, sometimes a bad interview is often the failing of the hosts, and not the guest. But when you bang your head against the same wall over and over again, at some point you have to acknowledge that guest is simply not going to play ball or give you anything to work with in an interview.
Right.
And I think we've kind of gotten to that point with AJ Preller. Every once in a while, though, he'll drop a tiny nugget that we get out of him. And I feel like just on that off chance, if we just keep working at it and plugging away, that it's worth talking to, especially on a Padres station, a flagship station with the tier 1s that are so interested in this team, that just on the off chance that he might give us just a little bit of insight into what's going on. I still want to talk to him, but you're right. Most of the time we don't get that insight out of him because he's very careful with what he says and talks us in circles like he does everybody else. When he gets up on a podium or does a one-on-one, it doesn't matter. He talks in circles.
Little bit better in person. Little bit better. Like
sure.
spring training is usually a better interview.
Time of year may have something to do with
be
it. Also part of the equation there, but he's putting together a team right now. He likes to keep his options open. He's working on multiple tracks, and it doesn't make for great radio sometimes. I will acknowledge that it doesn't always make for a compelling interview. I will still say I want to keep working at it and keep trying.
Yeah, for sure.
On AJ Preller when we get a chance to talk to him.
No question. I mean, for me, I think it was the certain time of year. I was like, what are we wasting our time for? Like, he's not going to say one single word. It turned out to be a really rough interview. And it wasn't an I told you so moment, but it was all right, maybe next time we'll be better.
One other NFL coach, I believe it's a weekly as well, made some headlines yesterday. Sean McVay of the Los Angeles Rams, who, remember, last year at this time, the speculation was he might retire.
Yeah.
Just step down, want to spend more time with his young family. The grind of the NFL may have been getting to him. Ended up coming back. He said, this year, no, I'm definitely promise coming back for next season, the 2024 regular season. Of course, he's got a playoff game to get ready for. The Los Angeles Rams have already clinched, likely going to be the 6th seed in the NFC. Could actually, depending on how things shake out, could take on Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions, could take on the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. Going to be an interesting matchup, and not a team I'd be excited about facing now, no matter who I am. Super Bowl, not the same players necessarily that won the Super Bowl, but an organization that'll have some confidence going into the postseason.
Same coach.
Just not that long ago.
Yep.
They were winning the whole thing. So he says he'll definitely be back in 2024 for another shot at it next year. All right, we will come back. We got 2 hours to go. Jesse Agler is going to join us coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. Looking forward to that. All ahead here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Whoa. All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Thank you guys for listening on the radio, on the app. You can watch us on YouTube every day. I still don't know why you want to watch us on YouTube. I am Rudolph the Red-Nosed radio host. You see it? It's still there.
No, it's not. It's
It
gone.
is. No, it's not.
Still
See it, Paulie? You see
It's
it?
not as bad.
from
You can
like
see it.
before Christmas. You still have the blotch on the tip of your nose.
You know, you get those, I think it's an ingrown or something, and it like red, it hurts to the touch, and then it goes away and it disappears. But I think the older you get, you know, you see, you start to get a little splotchy at times, and now I just have a red, shiny tip right on the front of my nose. So it's domes me out a little bit that people can see the Rudolph the red nose.
No, I barely notice it.
You can see it.
Barely.
It's shiny.
Barely. You're good. You're fine.
I'm not.
You're
You can
fine.
totally see it.
I was.
It's a nightmare.
I was working out with my trainer yesterday.
That's a humble brag. That's fine.
I do it once a week.
Yeah.
She's great. Trish is my trainer, and
Plug
she
over.
said, 2020. Have first workout of the new year, and Happy New Year. She said, well, what's you got coming up this year? She said, are you turning 50 this year? And I go, not yet. This is the year I'll turn 49. She's a couple years older. She says, it really gets real when they start sending you the AARP.
Yeah.
So I just got an email. AARP just asked me to sign up. Have you gotten one of those yet?
I think so.
I'm starting to feel a little bit on the older side just from getting that email right now.
Yeah, it sucks. And things pop up on you, and you're like, what the hell's this? I've never had hair here before, or why is this thing not going away on the tip of my nose? My son, over the holidays, was singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Dada, and it was not my favorite moment. And I will be completely transparent here, as I usually am. I did buy some male concealer, cover-up, if you will.
How'd that work?
I forgot to put it on this morning.
That's why you didn't bring it up yesterday.
That's why I didn't bring it up yesterday. Yesterday also sucked. I bought a little pen. Now, you wear makeup on TV.
Yeah.
Is it to keep the shine off?
Just to keep the shine off. I don't get like caked on and hide wrinkles or anything. It's just a dab of powder.
Just a little dab of powder.
Just to lower the shine from the lights that are very bright in the studio.
I bought... Idiots in the chat. What's that on your nose, Woodsy? I told you. It's my red-tipped nose that I now have forever, apparently. Apparently, it just is going to stay here. But I went on Amazon, you guys, and I bought this little stick. And you just take a little dab, and then you, like, rub it in. You can very clearly see. You guys will know. You'll be able to tell tomorrow if I remember to put it on. You'll go, oh, you got your nose covered up. Is that too vain? Now, I've got gray in my hair. I won't dye my hair. You know, I've got some gray on the sides. You have no gray. I don't know how. It's a mark of a clear sociopath. Zero. Like, you've got 2 kids, married, like, you have 2 jobs, not one gray hair.
You're
saying
clearly
that my
a sociopath. Life is not stressful enough? Is that are you accusing me?
I'm saying that you're not affected by stress, clearly.
And that's a sociopathic character.
100%. Am I wrong? Am I wrong here?
I've worked very hard at trying not to be affected by stress. I hate being...
How do you not have one gray hair? Not one.
I really do hate stress, which I work very hard at making sure I don't try to put myself in situations that will make me feel stressed.
That doesn't matter, though.
Yeah,
a lot
occasionally it's unavoidable. But
I mean, most of the time it's unavoidable. Like, it's just a natural part of.
You can't help traffic. You can't.
I don't get stressed in traffic.
2 jobs.
That's why I'm driving. We can talk about later, but we're going to an event tonight that's going to require some driving in traffic. You two didn't really even want to go because you knew that was the case, and I said, "I'll drive. It's fine. You guys can nap in the car while I navigate traffic because it doesn't stress me out."
Don't make it sound like we didn't want to go.
Oh, we wanted to go.
Well, you were just worried about the drive,
traffic.
the traffic, and I said, "I'll do it, no problem."
Now, you don't.
We have to be in LA at like 5:00 tonight.
Yeah, it's
just so everybody knows.
There's going to be traffic.
There's no easy way to do that.
There will be traffic, and I will drive, and it'll be fine.
Tony makes a good point here. He says, "Stress is your friend. It's how you know it means something to you." Do you not get stressed? You are a remarkable case study in human behavior.
We've already been over this. He has no feelings.
There's no feelings.
He's a robot.
Sociopathic.
No, it's a carefully crafted strategy.
Shell, like a shell around your body?
To keep from having too many feelings so I can avoid the stress. To keep my hair from going gray.
It's true. I think, and I do think if you ever went to therapy, you'd go to, I'm going to call it 3 sessions, and they would be like, you need to send an ambulance. This guy won't stop crying.
I told you. I failed my personality test when I was first hired at Channel 10. They said, we want to hire you. We love you. You're great.
You're clinically insane.
You failed the multiple choice personality test that we gave.
I didn't know that was a pass or fail.
I didn't know
Is
it was
there
pass-fail.
anything you need to tell us? I go, I don't think so. Maybe I
the results
overthought
here
the
say
question.
lack of personality.
Oh, my God. I do marvel at you. And I can't tell you the amount of people in the almost 6 years we've worked together that say, Ben dyes his hair. There's no question. And I go, I'm not kidding you when I tell you he does not dye his hair. He doesn't. He's not going to be one of those guys that, like, gets Botox and fillers and infrared treatments and stuff. And
I don't have the patience for that.
I'm on the fence. Like, I don't know which way I should go. I could very easily be swayed into some things to look better, but I also don't want to look like, you can tell the dad that's like 52 and you're like, oh, bro, you got some work done, right? Now, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying it's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah, I'm like 3 times a year, I'll have Shelly, I'll see like one gray hair and just pluck it out.
Pluck it out.
Just pluck it out.
I mean, my beard, my hair, my kids are making me insane, and they're just at that age. And I don't know if I was predestined to have gray hair and things like that.
Now,
I'm not sure.
Over the holidays, I had a few days off TV. I didn't shave for a couple of days. Now, I don't get anywhere near the beard level that you do, but I could see that if it did come in, there is a little white on the face.
Oh, there is?
There is a little bit of white there, yeah.
I want to see him with a beard more than anything. It may take you a year.
I don't, yeah, I'd have to really be like lost on a deserted island for a long time, like Tom Hanks.
He's on Castaway.
Before I even got to You in the Afternoon.
Yeah.
Essentially.
He's on Castaway. They pick him up in 5 years. He just barely
stubble.
any stubble. Like,
look like Erik Greupner.
Were you shaving on the, yeah, found a rock and a coconut shell and lathered up some whipped cream and
UPS package came out.
Seafoam,
hockey skate, and I just
shaved. It's really astounding and quite confounding how that has not happened to you, Benjamin. But yeah, so the thing on my nose is here to stay. I stare at it every day and I'm like, what do I even do? Should I burn the rest of my face so that it'll match my nose? Or do I just walk around with a red tip nose for the rest of my life? I really don't want to.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Because I feel like when people see me, they go, and they look at me and I'm like, you're looking at my nose. I know you're looking at my nose.
Now I'm looking at your gray beard.
You can see it, though.
I think a little gray actually looks quite dignified.
Yes.
And there's no reason to hide it. It shows that you are a man of experience and perhaps wisdom.
I've earned these grays.
Exactly.
I really, really have.
Exactly. And you also have the wisdom to know that just trying to fake it and dye it all to make it look like you're younger is not a great strategy.
And it's kind of easy to tell.
I hate it when people think I dye my hair. I really,
I do.
You. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't offend me, but I wish that they knew me better, that's not a choice that I would make. Unless, like, in TV, they said you have to do it. That's not a choice I would ever make, to dye my hair. When it's my time to go gray, and I will hopefully accept it gracefully.
People have thought I've used colored contacts for my blue eyes.
Yep.
And it's not like I didn't do anything to earn these blue eyes.
Yeah, you're born with them.
But they're natural, and it's like, no, I'm not that person that would do that.
Yeah, Shelly has these long, gorgeous, natural eyelashes, but everyone thinks she wears
fake eyelashes.
And it's like, that's insulting. Those are her real, God-given eyelashes that she has.
Is it insulting?
It's not like with like colored contacts. It's just more like, it's more insulting that you think that I would use something like that. Not
why would you be insulted? Like you have the right to look however you want to look. In my opinion, I think, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Like, yeah, I put these in, switch it up a little bit.
No, you absolutely do. It's insulting to judge someone for doing it necessarily. If they want to look the way they want to look, you want to get cosmetic surgery, whatever, that makes you feel confident, good about yourself, go for it. Absolutely. Your body, your choice. But I think the insulting part is to assume a person is so vain, they must have gotten, you must have gotten liposuction or plastic surgery or dyed your hair because you must be a very vain person who cares about that when, in fact, you never did any of that sort of thing.
Am I vain because I don't want a giant splotch of red on the tip?
Yes.
That's vanity?
I don't think
a little bit, yeah.
I think you have every right to
is there any,
I don't want it here.
Is there any reason for you to think that it's going to negatively impact your life to have a bit of a red splotch on your nose?
It makes me self-conscious.
It makes you self-conscious, but honestly, is there anything you can't do at work, at home, in your life? Are you going to be prevented from
Make love
doing
to my
anything
wife,
you
potentially?
want?
Who wants to sleep with Rudolph? No one. I can picture her just staring at it.
But wouldn't she just know you have makeup on top of it at the same time? Isn't that even worse a little bit?
I mean, never make love again. never again.
Well, that's insulting to your wife to make it sound like that would be something that she would care about.
She would. So there you go. There you go. Well, I'm going through it with this thing. And if anybody has any tips, Megan says she told me to put a hydro patch on it 3 weeks ago. I don't remember that. So I'm sorry.
I'm sure she did.
Man, anyway. All right, go to break.
All right, we will come back. Jesse Agler is going to join us in just a couple of minutes. It's also a big night locally for the Aztecs. Get their college basketball conference season started tonight at Viejas Arena. All of that coming up after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. I just got called way too normal.
Yeah, I think you are. I think you're way
By
too
Woods.
normal. Don't you agree with that, Paulie?
Yeah.
Do way
Absolutely.
too normal people fail personality multiple choice tests?
Our buddy Corey texted me and said, tell him to go to Channel 10 and go ask for his file and get the test, and let's see.
I can ask. That was a different company. We were sold since then, and management's changed a number of times. So don't know if my 20-year-old personality test is still in the file.
Incredible.
It was actually another company. They sent me to Mission Valley. Hey, before we hire you, you take a drug test and you do a personality
How'd you
test.
do on that one?
I passed that one. Did pass the drug test.
Would have been more concerning if you failed that one.
Failed the personality test. Passed the drug test. Wasn't a deal breaker, apparently. My boss, when he brought me in, he said, don't worry, we're going to hire you.
Oh, God,
I
man.
I feel like I should let you know that they told us you failed your personality
Like,
test.
what does that even mean?
I don't know. No one explained it to me.
We found out that you don't have a personality, which is going to be tough as you're going to be on television.
You're always
We gotta let
told
you
when you
go.
go in, don't worry, there are no wrong answers. If the test has no wrong answers,
How did I fail?
How did I fail it then?
It's amazing. We did one on this show years and years ago. Maybe time to update it and do it again. It's the off season, Let's think outside the box here. But no, I mean, you said I'm not weird, am I? I said, yeah, you're weird, but Paulie's weird. I'm weird. We're all weird in our own way. You said I consider myself fairly normal. I said, yeah, you're very normal. You're too normal. You're a little too normal, I think. Like,
Do I try too hard to be normal?
no, I think you're just inherently normal.
I don't have
guy.
any homicidal impulses
No?
or anything like that. I don't self-harm. I don't
No.
harm others.
No.
I feel like I'm fairly normal. I know the no cursing thing is a little weird, but it's not like I don't think it sometimes.
Fair.
It's more just a habit that
Yeah.
I've gotten into that I just don't want to break.
That's fair.
Is it that weird? I don't know. Jordan says 100% chance Ben Higgins outlives us all.
No doubt.
Dude just doesn't get bothered unless he's looking at the AP top 25.
It's the one
Or run differential.
It's the one thing that could send him over the edge. If you say, "Hey, I got some bad news for you."
I will.
Polls are out.
I just called up. Seth Davis put out his stock report for the start of the year on college basketball and had some nice things to say about San Diego State. The Aztecs will take on Fresno State tonight in their Mountain West opener at Viejas Arena. Says, I'm not sure how the Aztecs got left out of the AP poll after winning at Gonzaga, yet somehow Gonzaga stayed ranked. Thank you, Seth. It's only a matter of time until they have a number next to their name. This team isn't as good defensively as it was a year ago, but it's a better offensive team, primarily due to the stunning improvement of Jaden Ledee. Also adds USC transfer Reese Waters now, a 6'5" junior guard, starting to look a lot more comfortable in Brian Dutcher's system. As I've noted, the Mountain West is strong and deep, and I have no idea which team will emerge as the champion, but I know that San Diego State is better than people realize, and the Aztecs are ready to prove it. So some nice words from one of college basketball's top experts about San Diego State as they get ready to start conference play tonight at Viejas Arena.
Yeah, huge game, as you mentioned yesterday.
I mean, it's...
Check the line here,
So there are 6 teams that are at the really kind of in the upper half of the Mountain West this year. Let's see. It's Colorado State. They're ranked 13th, and they won last night against New Mexico in their conference opener. New Mexico had a really good non-conference season. Nevada, San Diego State, Utah State, and Boise State. All of them, I think they combined to go 70-10 in non-conference play, and any one of them could be problematic, home or road, which means you've got at least 10 really challenging games in your conference. Several of them would be quad 1 games, like resume building games, especially on the road. Plus UNLV was good enough to beat Creighton. So add them in, and that's 12 of your conference games are all winnable or losable on any given night, which to me means the games that you play against Fresno State and San Jose State and Air Force, those are in Wyoming. Those are the most critical ones because you can't lose those and still expect to win the conference title because you're going to lose some of the other ones. There's no way that anyone's getting through the Mountain West with 1 or 2 losses. It might be 4 losses. It might be 5 losses that wins the conference this year, but it's not going to be a team that spends any of those losses on the bottom half. But the teams in the bottom half aren't terrible. They could come and rise up on a good night and upset one of those top teams. And to me, that's going to be one of the big differences in the end. Who took care of business in games like this against Fresno State? Last year, the Aztecs played once at Fresno State. They won 45-43. It was one of the ugliest games of the season. They pulled it out, but they can't afford to trip up against a team like this tonight. UNLV is another dangerous one on Saturday at Viejas Arena. They start with these winnable games they should win, which are the ones that make me the most nervous.
Of course. Yeah,
most nervous.
100%. It's no different in any sport. The trap game that just murders you if you go out and get swept by the Royals.
Going to Gonzaga is an opportunity. That's exciting. That's like, okay, you win this one, great. You lose it, oh well, you took your shot. You lose games like this, that really hurts you later down the line. Seedings, NCAA tournament resume, these are the ones that make me nervous as a fan, games like tonight.
Tied for the biggest spread in college basketball tonight, 15.5 points. There's a couple other games with that number. Aztecs favored by 15.5 at home against Fresno State.
I was like,
so many points, my friend.
I don't bet, gamble, but I certainly think about it. And when it comes to basketball games, those spreads that are anywhere between 10 and 20 are so dicey. Because
it's massively dicey.
Because games in the end, a 15-point game is a blowout. What do you do in a blowout in a basketball game with 4 or 5 minutes to go?
Chuck up three.
The other team's chucking up
There's
threes.
Fouls.
Even if you're the winning team, you clear out your bench to make sure you don't have any injuries, and you put in the bench warmers and the walk-ons to the last couple minutes of the game, and all of a sudden you get backdoor covers, or it's a 18-point spread, they're up by 12, and then the other guys come in, they want to score, so all of a sudden it's 20. I mean, you just can't predict those kind of games. I would stay away from anything that's in that 10 to 20 range usually, because you just can't predict what's going to happen.
I was last week when the Pistons were continuing to lose and lose and lose.
Broke their streak.
And lose. They did finally break their streak.
Who they beat?
They beat Toronto.
Oh, man.
I think it was the Boston game, which was like their 28th loss in a row. And
they were up 19 at half.
I looked at the line before the game. I was just curious, see what it, maybe make some money on it. It was like a 16.5 point spread. And I'm just like, in basketball, that's so terrifying.
It doesn't matter how bad you are. That's still a ton of points to cover.
No team should lose by that many points.
Right.
No, so it was last Thursday. They were like 17-point underdogs, and they were up 19 at the half at Boston, one of the best teams in the NBA, and they blew the entire lead in the third quarter. Came back, forced overtime, and then lost in overtime to tie the record with 28 straight, matching the Philadelphia 76ers. But then in the next game on Saturday, they beat the Raptors 129-127. Almost blew a 10-point lead in like the last minute, but held on to win by 2. Man. And that was their first win since October. It was the last game of December, and they had lost all their games in November, and they had lost all their games in December until the very last game of December.
It's excruciating
to end their losing streak.
I'd probably pop a bottle after that. I probably do, because that is so many freaking basketball games to lose. I'd probably celebrate like I just won the championship after that.
It may have helped because it was the game right after the Raptors had traded OG Anunoby to the Knicks, so they were kind of in that transition phase of getting RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly there, but I don't think they were there yet for the game. So they caught him kind of shorthanded and took advantage and ended that losing. I mean, it had to end at some point.
It had to.
I mean, they've got good players. Kate Cunningham's a good player. They've got some good players. They're not like completely inept out there, but to lose 28 in a row was pretty stunning. In any sport, to get to that point, stunning.
Brutal.
All right, Jesse Agler is going to make his first Ben and Woods appearance of 2024. I think it's pretty casual conversation coming up.
I think absolutely. I want to ask him, is he a resolution guy? All right, what are your guesses?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he is.
I think he's going to think they're stupid.
We are also going to follow through on one of our resolutions.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Interview.
You guys will like this.
I don't think, does anyone even know what our resolution is?
No.
All right, we will share it with you and Jesse when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Vibration's a little better today, I think, in the Ben and Woods studio, certainly. Hold on. Don't turn it down yet, Paulie. Look at him. Look at him. He's losing his mind. Yeah.
I've always loved the Beach Boys.
Who doesn't?
You can tune in to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti every Friday night here on The Fan, 6 p.m. as they preview the entire weekend slate of NFL games. This is it, by the way, Week 18, last week of the season. It is brought to you free on the Odyssey app and presented nationally by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos, brought to you by those who drink it, and by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. Jesse Agler always knows the Padres, although really just want to catch up with him, start the new year. Casual chat with the voice of the Padres coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
No coincidence that it's getting a little busier out here now that the roads are wet. Westbound side of the 8 Fletcher Parkway, vehicle over the side, still clearing a crash up ahead just before the 805. It's over the right shoulder, but fire crews have got that slow lane blocked. Crash involving a pickup truck blocking lanes on eastbound 8 near Marina Boulevard. We still have this spin out on the northbound 5 coastline near San Onofre Nuclear Plant. It's got the HOV lane blocked. Continue to take it extra carefully out there, guys. Give yourself plenty of extra time. Have those headlights on so you're more visible to other drivers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
2024 is here. We're just a month plus out from spring training, and joining us right now is our friend Jesse Agler, the voice of the San Diego Padres here on 97.3 The Fan. Jesse, Happy New Year. Good morning to you.
Happy New Year, guys. Looking forward to our casual chat.
Good to hear his voice.
Great to hear your voice. Are you a resolutions guy?
No, not really.
Paulie
I thought you would be.
Paulie wins.
Yes.
Ben thought you would be.
You're very disciplined on the road. I felt like maybe that came with like making active choices at the beginning of a new year.
You know what, Ben? The key is to be like that perpetually.
All the time, yeah.
Exactly.
Not just on January 1st. Good for Jesse. He's just a disciplined sort of fellow.
Just naturally disciplined. So no resolutions. That's I'm a little disappointed in you, Mr. Agler.
What would your resolution?
This is like perfect.
Be?
What
Go
else?
ahead.
What would he need to do?
What
would you like?
Listen,
some more wins? Can I do that for you?
Yes,
can I resolve to broadcast more than 82 victories this year? I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I want you to get more into music because I think it'll help you. That's just my resolution for you. I can help you. You don't ask me for help though, and I don't like to give unsolicited help.
Wood's giving resolutions to other people.
Correct.
It's a whole bit for the week, by the way. Be like, all right, call us up. Woods will tell you what you need to do better for yourself in 2024.
Well, people do it to me every day on Twitter, Jesse. Why can't I do it for others?
You can't be more prepared. You're always so well prepared for games. I mean, you've really dialed it in over these last 2 years. Jesse knows how to get it done. Anything like you want to get done before you head to spring training, because I know once you leave for Peoria, your life changes quite dramatically until, hopefully the end of October.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like once the calendar flips to the new year, it sort of feels like, all right, we're about to go. So yeah, you try and get in, the last bit of family time you can here in the last 5-6 weeks, and focus on that, but also get ready. I mean, my spring training notes are already well underway. I've taken care of all the new guys from the Yankee trade and the signing that we had. So it's kind of that goes into hyperdrive, and now I start pulling back the notes that I made at the end of the season and start getting them ready for spring training. And I feel like, when you watch one of those movies or like TV shows and there's like the really like hyper intense computer coding guy.
Yes.
And like he pulls the hood up over and he's got like the big coffee and the energy drink and he's just pounding away at his computer keyboard. Like that's me for the next month getting ready for spring training. Like just a total lunatic, just a couple hours a day, maybe trying to get stuff ready and good to go.
Well, you know what's funny, and I know the deal has not been announced yet, but Woo Suk Go, 25-year-old closer out of the KBO, Jesse, I was saying this morning, I have such a great respect for what you guys have to do, and also the people that work at Mad Friars and the people that work at Baseball Prospectus, and to be able to not only keep up with the big league roster, then you have to, who are the best players in the KBO? Who are the best players in Japan? Who are the best players from the Dominican leagues? The game is so worldwide now. that it makes it very difficult. I had not heard of this young man literally until yesterday when I saw a tweet, and I went, and again, credit to AJ Preller and his staff too for going out there and traveling to the ends of the earth to find players. It's difficult. It's difficult for radio hosts, difficult for broadcasters.
Yeah, the good news for us is, especially when stuff happens in the off season, is I don't actually have to get on the air and talk about this guy until the end of February. So at that point, all those other people you mentioned will have done a lot of hard work that makes it very easy for us. But just to kind of go broader on what you're talking about, I think one of the coolest developments in our sport in the last few years is just sort of the way the level of play has risen. Japan's always been up there, but I think it's probably gotten even better. And the KBO certainly has kind of skyrocketed in the last, call it decade or whatever it is, where, Merrill Kelly was kind of the big story for a while because he pitched in the KBO without ever having pitched in the big leagues. And then he came over here and did his thing, and obviously has had some great success. But now you're getting, some of the Korean-born players. Obviously, we've got, maybe the best of them all here in Kim, and it's just expanding the sport in a way that probably the last couple of commissioners have dreamed of. Where you're legitimately able to go scout other pro leagues and say, hey, that's a guy we've got our eye on. Remember, before Hideo Nomo, I think there had been 2 or 3 Japanese-born players in Major League history.
Yeah.
In the whole history of the league. And that, was kind of a huge one, certainly. And it's just gone more and more and more. And Chan-Ho Park coming from Korea. And I think, the sport becomes exponentially more interesting, when you're grabbing people from different parts of the globe. And obviously, the Caribbean and South America and Central America has been going for a while now. But, to be able to go to Asia and to be able to pluck guys out and for them to have, pretty immediate success in the major leagues, I think is awesome. You kind of see that in soccer, obviously, where literally all around the globe, there are guys, that are playing at an elite level. If you can get to something like that for baseball, again, it just makes the sport that much more fascinating.
Talking to Jesse Agler here on Ben and Woods, and I think Woodsy and I feel the same way. We're pro player in that, hey, you got a limited career. Go out, make what you can. Don't begrudge a guy for getting a big salary. Yet, sitting here in the offseason and seeing some of the numbers that are being thrown out for players who haven't even had a lot of success the last couple of years, like a Lucas Giolito, $38.5 million contract for a couple of years, $19 million per year, and kind of trying to wrap my mind around what it really costs. How do you approach a ball player's salary? Does that come into play at all for you in the opinion of what kind of player that they are? Do the numbers, the stats speak for themselves, whether they're making the league minimum or they're making $30 million a year?
Look, I don't do a lot of evaluation. That's not necessarily my job. I think salary numbers are often more reflective of the market, than they are of necessarily the guy's skill, which is, I'm sure, as far as the Players Association concerned, exactly how it's supposed to work. Obviously you have to have skill and you have to have ability. Otherwise, there's not going to be a market for you. But it's reflective of the market. And so a guy like Giolito, who, by the way, all the promise in the world when he was coming up, I remember we saw him, I think, in Washington, his first or second year, and all the talk was, hey, this guy's got all the talent in the world, right? He was in the rotation with Fried and what was it, Flaherty in Los Angeles at Westlake, and he's a big deal, and his grandpa played Susan's dad in Seinfeld. We had all these great stories about him. He was the huge next guy, and it just hasn't happened for him in that way yet. But he's still a capable major leaguer. And when you look around the free agency market right now, as far as starting pitchers are concerned, there's not a ton of guys out there like him, and so that price goes up. If this were a year that was, in free agency flooded with Giolito-type arms, he's probably not getting that money. So it's a reflection of the market, the dollar amount. And the other thing to keep in mind with that kind of thing always is 10 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, man, he didn't get anything. That's just the way this works. Yeah. You look at whoever signed in the winter of 2013, 10 years ago now, or 2014, and you look back and you go, oh my gosh, this guy who was, we thought maybe then was random, but ended up having a really nice year. He got $15 million. Can you believe it? That's just sort of how it goes. So the numbers are always going up. And that's why I think with these super long contracts, with Manny and Fernando and everything like that, when you're signing them as a fan, it sounds very scary. The reality is, by the end, it's probably below market value for a lot of those guys. Because, the market is just going to explode over the course of an 8, 10, 12-year kind of situation.
Talking to our pal Jesse Agler here, voice of the San Diego Padres here on 97.3 The Fan. while we were out, there were some proposed rule changes. Now, are they rubber stamped yet?
Yeah, 18 seconds now
okay.
instead of 20 when guys are on base for the pitch clock. Correct, Jesse?
Yeah, and the runner's lane, and they reduce mound visits. There's a sneaky one that nobody's really talking about that I like, because by the end of last year, the pitchers learned how to game the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
They told the clock operator, don't start the clock until the pitcher has the ball on the mound after a pitch. So guys would walk off the mound, get the ball, walk around, and then make their way up the hill. And so they buy themselves an extra 3, 4, 5 seconds. And again, I recognize that that's only something like a radio announcer notices, because we're the ones that have to fill all that time. But yeah, they closed a couple of the loopholes. They reduced it down to 18 with guys on base. That stuff is all done. Yeah.
Your thoughts on the quicker pitch clock? I thought that the pitch clock worked really, really well last year. We're talking 2 seconds, but it's a change. It's a change. I mean, and I thought it worked. I loved it last year. I know you did too. Games were quicker, crisper, and all that, and I was completely wrong on that. Why the change to 18, and are you in favor of that?
I am in favor of it. There's a couple things that go. It did work really well last year. There's no question. But the time of game from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I think went up about 7 minutes, which, look, in our conversation doesn't sound like that much. But you start thinking about, on a nightly basis, you're playing 240 or 247. Like, okay, there's a little that does feel different, in terms of the product. They understand that length of game matters, especially in sort of our like TikTok attention span universe, right? Like every sport is going to be trying to get their time of game down. Maybe the exception of basketball, because it's right around 2.5 for an NBA game. So that's a thing they're aware of. But I think, Chris, the word you used is the main thing, right? Like this is going to sound crazy, I know, but like the 20 seconds, when a guy uses all 20 seconds, it's a lot. It's not crisp. Now, not every guy was using all 20. I think MLB said the average pitcher was getting rid of the ball with 7 on the clock, like over the course of the whole season. So guys weren't all running it down to 0 or to 1, but the guys that did, the 20 seconds is a long time. It didn't, to me, feel natural. It felt to me like a halting of the pace. And Bob Melvin and I kind of went back and forth on this a couple of times during the season, because he was, at first at least, kind of in favor of a universal number. And I was saying something like, if you want universal, it's going to have to be like 17. I was like, the 20 is too long. And he was like, what do you mean the 20 is too long? And it felt to me that when guys used all of the 20, it was too long. And apparently somebody agreed with that, because they're knocking it down to 18. Look, the only negative to this, as far as I'm concerned, is the concern about pitcher injuries, which are legitimate. It's something the Players Association has and should have talked about. It's something you've heard pitchers talk about. My hunch is that Major League Baseball is not really going to be all that compassionate towards that concern. I think a big part of this that isn't discussed is Major League Baseball kind of seeing here, if we shorten the amount of time, are these guys going to stop trying to throw so hard all the time? And if they stop trying to throw so hard all the time, will we get more action? Will we get more balls in play? Will maybe the thing tilt a little bit more towards hitters after it's tilted so dramatically towards pitchers? And again, I don't know that they're coming out and saying that, but I do think that that's probably an intended sort of under the radar consequence of all of this. And so if you hear pitchers saying, hey, I'm worried about my arm, my guess is Major League Baseball, either directly or indirectly, is going to say, don't throw so hard all the time. And it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out.
Jesse wrote about some of this in his very entertaining newsletter, which, if I'm not mistaken, he did resolve to be a little more regular on producing going forward. I don't know if it was a New Year's resolution or just a new season's resolution, but I did get that point. And I will add to just quickly, Jesse, it wasn't just the pitchers as well. Batters like Trent Grisham, I thought, had learned to game the system and slow things down by waiting until 8 seconds exactly to step into the box and address the pitcher, which kind of artificially slowed things down as well on that 20-second clock. So I am also in favor of that reduction to 18 seconds with guys on base.
Yeah, Trent mastered it probably by the second week of April. I mean, he was always going to be like the guy that figured that out. We noticed that from his first week as a Padre in 2021, whatever it was, 2020, that he was that guy. Like, he was obsessed almost, with controlling the pace of the at-bat. So, of course, it didn't take him, very long to figure it out. But you're right. I mean, that was part of it, too. Look, for me, the whole thing is about flow. And again, I know I'm coming at this as a radio announcer where like I'm describing the action and trying to keep it moving. And I do think those 2 seconds will just keep a more natural flow to the game, which is, I think, the primary thing that Major League Baseball is trying to get.
All right, Jesse, we got a new bit this year. It's a new bit. We're smashing worlds together. We're going to spin the topic wheel with you, and you're going to play along. Paulie.
It's our resolution.
It's our resolution.
That we would like to do this with more guests.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Dude, I just prefer not to comment on any programming decisions.
All right.
The topic wheel is the topic wheel, Jesse. We don't pick the questions.
That's right. The topic wheel picks them.
All right, Jesse. The question
What did you think
is,
about the midday? No.
Shut up. Stop it, Ben. Jesse, the question from the topic wheel is, who is your favorite actor or actress of all time?
Oh, see, I love this. It digs deep.
Oh, man.
Jesse, I don't watch movies or television.
Yeah, I that's kind of like, you might as well have asked me my favorite musician. No, like, can we get back next week? Can we do it again next? I have to think about it. You know what? I feel like sometimes
We'll go first. Think about it.
We can go first, yeah.
Think about it for a minute
Favorite
as we go
actor
around
and
the
actress.
table.
Yeah.
I am a big Matt Damon fan. I liked him in just
love
about
him too.
everything.
I love him.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I do like a good Matt Damon film.
I'm with you. Paulie?
I like Matt Damon.
Wow.
I was going to
I'm
say
a trendsetter.
I was going to say Leonardo DiCaprio
Okay.
and Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Pretty much any movie they're in, I'll give it a chance.
Good, but they can, to me, it can be a bit much sometimes. Both of those
I'm
guys.
a big Bobby De Niro fan. Huge Bobby De Niro fan. Never seen him in a bad role. He's done some bad movies actually, but if he's in it, I'm pretty much watching
He's
it.
not much of an actor, but it's more like those two that I just named. It's more Quentin Tarantino. Like I
Yeah.
will watch, and he's in a lot of his movies.
It's the roles.
Like I will watch any Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, it's like
movie.
me and Scorsese. Jesse, now that we've primed the pump for you.
I love Wes Anderson movies.
Oh,
but
you would.
that's more of a yeah, I would, you're right. That's like a collaborative
It
thing,
is.
right? So
Yeah.
it's almost hard to like identify any one of the people.
Just say Luke Wilson. It's fine. Luke Wilson.
No,
and we move on
no.
from today. That's no
It
big
wouldn't
deal.
be Luke Wilson. I'm gonna go. This is. I mean, look, Tom Hanks is amazing, but I'm not
incredible.
gonna say that. I find myself anytime Michael Keaton is in something, I want to watch it.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a
Great
good
call. He is brilliant. He's a brilliant
I
actor.
thought it was weird when they made him Batman, but he worked it.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
with it.
He
Phenomenal.
made it work.
Yeah, he really
which
did.
is pretty incredible.
You're the best, dude.
So yeah, I'll go Michael Keaton.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Great answer,
Amazing.
I
man.
feel like we
Great
shortchanged
crop.
the women, though.
We did.
I mean, everyone says Meryl Streep she's amazing. She really is. She gets
Oh yeah,
all the
Emma
awards,
Stone.
though.
There's my answer.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
Noted Padres fan Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Very good answer there, Jesse. My favorite actress of all time.
Julia
Louis-Dreyfus.
No, I was going to say Julia Roberts. But
Julia Roberts.
Okay, sure.
Very good. I like Laura Linney, man. Laura Linney is a
She's
force.
great.
She is a force. I love her. If she's in it, I'm in it.
I'm
Paulie?
with you on that. Laura Linney and Michael Keaton, very similar. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not going to watch.
100, like the pros pro, I would imagine, for
I
both
love
of them.
Emma Stone and Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks is
That's a
good.
Everything
good
she
answer.
touches is gold.
I
And
love
she
it.
hosts Press Your Luck on ABC now, too.
All right,
So
get your
I can
plug
throw
in.
that
Jesse,
plug.
you're the man. We have to go to commercial. We love you. Happy New Year, buddy.
See you at spring
See
training.
you at spring
Happy New Year,
training.
guys. Can't wait.
All right, buddy.
Jesse Agler, voice of the Padres, playing the topic wheel.
love it.
Love it. That's our resolution is we are going to, probably not with every guest, but when we feel it's appropriate, we were
Some
going to
regulars that we're comfortable with.
add that to the mix.
I mean, if Lee Lowenfish comes on
Yeah.
again, we'll play the topic wheel with
the whole
Lee.
segment.
Noted writer,
Yeah.
author,
Found his-
theologian.
Found his book this weekend as I was cleaning out my closet. I put it in the neighborhood.
If that had been my
Mailbox.
suggestion,
Oh,
I would
shut-
have never lived it down.
You've had plenty. Don't worry
I know,
about it.
but I'm just so glad that it was.
Well,
that was your
I'm
choice.
still not living it down. So Adam reminds me of it weekly.
All right, we've got the Reindl Report coming up next, including some Snoop Dogg ahead on 97.3 The Fan. Our thanks again to Jesse Agler, who has got his last few weeks of freedom with the family until he is locked in for spring training. I think I saw I don't know if it's public yet, but pitchers and catchers reporting February 11th. Padres spring training. Is that out there already?
It's a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, as you'd expect with the shortened spring training because of the Korea trip. The Padres will report on the early side, and then they'll play games a couple days earlier as well. They have 2 games against the Dodgers, I think, before everybody else starts playing spring training games, so they can both get a head start since they're going to play less spring training games with that trip to Korea.
Because we typically go out the first week that the full squad reports, that Tuesday usually. And I believe that was like the 17th or 18th of February last year, so they moved it up by about a week, given the fact that they're going to have to leave much earlier and fly to Korea for that series.
It's interesting. We're still...
I mean, the Super Bowl is February 11th as well. So literally, Super Bowl Sunday is the day that Padres pitchers and catchers are reporting. It used to be like a week or so between. This year...
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Vegas.
It is in Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. All right. They got some work to do still. Padres still need to round out the coaching staff as well. There's still no first base, third base. Is that correct?
I don't think they've named either of those positions.
Is there a bench
have they?
coach yet? We have a hitting coach.
Yeah, we have 3 hitting coaches, right? Scott Coolbaugh.
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah. Back to Detroit.
There were rumored...
No, there was right when we left.
There was a rumor. The Padres haven't announced anything.
Usually they actually don't announce everything until they've got it all in place.
All done? That makes sense.
So they may have hired people, and then they're waiting until everyone's in place. We may not see that email until like a day or 2 before spring training. Mike Schilt announces his coaching staff for the 2024 season. You'll get a full list of everybody, whether it's leaked out or not. You'll find out officially when that day is set and they have them all in place. Is, I believe, how the procedure has gone in the past.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now, Mike Schilt can do things the way he wants. He's the manager, but that would be typical, I would think.
Can he?
Yeah. Well, some managers can. I'm sure he'll run it by AJ.
Yeah,
see what he thinks as well. It's collaborative, over there.
Very collaborative.
Yeah.
He said, I'm just here to be a good steward of the organization. I just want to be a good soldier and fall in line. That's is what it is.
A lot of opinions. A lot of people contributing over there.
Indeed.
That's how AJ likes it, he says.
That's how baseball is these days.
Yeah.
It's not one man running the show.
No.
Lots.
I mean, someone has to ultimately make the decisions, Woods.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. Who's our decision maker here on the show?
You know that.
It's a collaborative effort.
It's not, actually.
Not at all.
I'm just here to be a good steward
you are,
of the show.
Yes. That's exactly right.
I do feel like if I felt strongly about something, you would...
Still no. No.
But you're more than able to express that desire. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, correct. He loves the pushback.
No opinions will be silenced in this room.
No, none whatsoever. You do love the pushback. You're a big pushback guy, which is great.
What does that mean?
That means that you push back on everything.
Yeah, I like to... the counter argument. I like to look at things, from a thorough...
This happened last night.
...perspective from both sides.
This happened literally last night.
Does that
literally?
Does that bother you, or do you feel like it's good service? Like,
I think it's good service.
I like to poke holes in things.
That's
like,
correct.
Make sure we're not missing something. Like,
correct.
Could this backfire? Is
correct.
this what are the drawbacks of a potential decision that we're making? And then when I feel comfortable that we're all like, okay, no, I think we've all agreed that we've thought this through, and this is a good idea. Then we'll move forward with it.
I agree.
But if no one is there to point out potential negatives, you can jump into a bad decision without thinking through the consequences.
The ship could be looked at as rudderless, right? Without many people.
What was the topic last night?
It was spring training. When are we going?
Oh, when are we going to spring training?
This dude over here. Well, we asked them, what's a good week for you guys for us to come? Because, I want to maximize our time at spring training.
Of course.
So we asked them. They told us, and we said, great. And then Ben says, I don't know. What if we go earlier? I said, well, they have a lot of stuff going on. He said, well, just call them and see if we can go this time. I go, I'm not calling it. You can call them, text them, whatever.
I just know that our listeners are very eager to have us out there.
I'm eager to get out there as well.
And I know Sammy's going to be out there, and we're going to have lots of coverage. But when we go, we would like to, like last year we went, and we had to spend an entire day at our Airbnb because the Padres were busy shooting
pictures.
Yeah,
there was
pictures
so
and
many
stuff.
different production shoots.
But that's the other thing.
They didn't have any room for us because they were using all of the setup area where we usually do our show.
The players weren't available.
And the players weren't available.
Outside.
We would have just sat out there. So we just let's just do it from the Airbnb.
Watch them walk to the Rawlings truck.
Bob Scanlon came by, hung out with us for 3 hours. It was amazing. A Tier 1 stopped by with a bottle of whiskey. It was really, I actually had a good time doing that. But I do want to maximize the player interviews. We don't do a ton during the season. It's really a good time to get everybody's perspective out there. Then we can use their words at spring training to hold them accountable for the rest of the season, as we did many times. Some of them really stepped in it, even in spring training last year. So, but we asked them, and they said, this is a good week. And we said, okay, great. And then you're like, no, call and see if the other stuff that they're doing is actually a big deal.
I'm not calling. That's
I'm not
why
calling.
I sent the email.
That's why we asked them. If you say, what's a good day for you? And I say, Wednesday. Ben would go, how about Tuesday?
But everyone can't go the same days. I mean, even if those are the best days.
I just want to be there on the best days where they're going to be the most available.
Because, Gwen and Chris will go out. I don't know if Annie and Elston are going out as well, but we're not all going out the same week.
We should.
We got to plan. We got to strategize.
Yeah, that's fine.
You think we should all be there at the same time?
I think it'd be a blast. Have the whole crew out there.
One big
house
where we're all staying.
Poor Annie would be like, just get me out of here. Get me
The Padres
out
would
of
be
here.
like, so we got to get guests in the morning, we got to guests in the afternoon,
3
we got
times.
guests in the midday, all day long. Everyone wants to talk to everybody. They'll be exhausted.
Yeah. Alyssa in the chat says Ben is a contrarian. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's all right. It's a good quality to have.
A little bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those stubborn ones who will stick with the bad contrary opinion forever, even though they know it's wrong.
Correct.
But I will start from the contrary perspective, just to make sure that we're looking at it from all sides.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. Gentlemen, I want to talk about one of the baddest human beings on the planet with a basketball in their hand. Her name is Caitlin Clark.
Yes, it is.
She is unbelievable. The star women's college basketball player from Iowa. She's just unbelievable, and she had another huge moment last night with a 3-pointer at the buzzer to win the game. She was much closer to half-court line than
she was
the
8
3-point line.
feet beyond the 3-point line with 2 seconds. Pull back, step back 3 over a defender who was draped on her. And
we're under 10. Here's Davis out near the timeline. Gets it to Stalky at the top of the key. Has it knocked away, but Reed gathers it. Now to Clark. Step back 3 at the buzzer. Not again. Indiana all over again.
Dude, she is so good.
I mean,
She's so
Steph
much fun
Curry
to watch.
hits that shot, and he's going, that was pretty cool what I just did.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
And I watched the highlight this morning from that game, and I'm a big basketball fan. Ben is a big basketball fan. Woodsy's the biggest basketball fan on the show.
That's fair.
To see an arena full of people at a women's college basketball game, that's just not something we see very often. And I think that's great for the sport. I think it's phenomenal what she's been able to do with her career. And
she was on the logo, by the way. She was
on the big
she was
logo at
on
half-court.
the logo.
And here's
she drained that shot.
And dude, she's so calm,
But it wasn't,
cool and collected.
it wasn't what you think of like a big two-handed heat.
No,
it was a
shot.
It was a step back shot.
Insane.
I swear I couldn't get it halfway there if I tried to. If I tried that, I would not get the ball halfway to the basket.
Well, it's an unbelievable shot.
Dude, and listen to her after the game. She's just calm, cool, collected.
Honestly, when it left my hand, I knew it was going in. So, I'm glad I could make that. And, you know, at the end of the day, maybe we didn't play our best today, but, you know, a win's a win. The Big Ten's really tough.
That's awesome.
That was great.
Number 4, Iowa beats Michigan State.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the nation. Okay, this was one of my favorite stories from a couple of years ago. I think it was the Winter Olympics 2022. And NBC, Peacock, they were doing a thing on their streaming services, so it could be uncensored, where they had Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg breaking down Winter Olympic Games.
Yep.
And it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. There was a equestrian contest or event, and you know the horse was galloping around, and then this happened.
Come on, let's do another one. Horses, I like this. This is equestrian.
This is prancing.
They call this equestrian.
By the way, look at that horse.
Did you? Oh, the horse crip walking, cuz. You see that? Oh, the set. That's gangsters of up. Hey! Oh, cuz. Oh, look at this, cuz.
Oh, come on, man.
This horse is off the chain. I gotta get this motherfucker in the video.
Oh, you
Oh, my God.
Snoop said I gotta put the horse in the video.
Was off the chain. I need that.
Horse crip walking is officially in the Olympics.
Horse crip walking.
Dude,
it's so good, man.
I watched all of those videos. They were like 30-minute specials, and they were just breaking down the day's events, and it was all like that. It was so good. There's some obscure Olympic events, and it was so good that NBC is bringing Snoop Dogg back, and it's going to be in their prime time coverage, like on NBC, not on the app, not on Peacock. So they may have to he may have to dial it back a little bit with the cursing, but he will be doing the Summer Olympics in Paris, and their coverage will begin on July 26th.
They already have some promos out with him and some of the athletes, and he like reveals some like pictures, like what is going on here.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's pretty entertaining.
Makes the Olympics, which I'm not the world's biggest fan of.
I'm not either.
I wish I was. There's some stuff I'm into, you know, but we'll get into it. It'll be July.
It's the sporting event that relies the most on really good TV production.
Gotta have it.
You've got to tell the stories of the athletes. You got to make us care about them.
Correct.
Make us care about their sport, and then hopefully it's an entertaining, like exciting race or competition or whatever. But if you don't execute any of those three, like why do I care about this? Olympics can be really bad at the same time.
I like the summer games more than the winter games, if I had to choose.
I like the winter
I like
more
the winter
than the
better.
summer.
I don't know.
I love the
like
downhill.
the swimming. I like the 100-meter dash.
I don't like watching people run, but I do like watching people ski and snowboard. And
yeah,
I'm down for the breakdancing.
The sprint races get a little tedious to me because it's just.
I'm thinking
they're
like,
all fast.
when I was in high school, though, I had Michael Phelps and like Katie Ledecky recently in the swimming competitions, and then you had Usain Bolt on the track. You're like, this is must-watch television.
Yeah, those guys.
Then
Michael
again,
Phelps was must-watch.
I made the point about skiing. All right, this woman went down the mountain in 1 minute 47.12 seconds, and the next woman came down in 1 minute 47.18 seconds. You can't tell the difference between those two. There's physically no way to tell the difference between A and B.
It's still entertaining
one person
to
gets
watch.
the gold medal, the other one's off the podium
It's
because
still-
of 0.08 of a second over the course of 2 minutes.
It's still interesting to watch because they're flying down the mountain at 85 miles an hour,
It's just
slaloming.
the-
it's nuts.
It's the possibility of disaster
Yeah,
that
that's
keeps
pretty
you
much
entertained. Running around a track. I mean, someone pulls a hamstring or something, but you don't have a wipeout generally.
There are people that watch marathons.
Yeah,
they watch them.
They do.
They watch on until they watch they're
don't.
running. They're just jogging.
Yeah,
If you love sports, you don't watch marathons.
Rather fast for a long race. I mean,
get
they're
it.
still going like 5 minute
And I
mile,
couldn't
which is
do
pretty
it.
impressive.
I couldn't do it with a gun to my head, but you're not going to get me to sit and watch a marathon for anything.
But I mean, it's an auto race. At least you have the
Would you
possibility
rather-
of a wreck.
Yeah, correct.
Everyone says, no, you don't watch racing for the wrecks. Everyone watches racing for the wrecks. If you knew there was never going to be a crash and it
Would
was
you
just
watch? It's a good
cars
question.
going around in a circle for 3 hours, are you telling me
People would.
that you would still watch that? If
They
you knew
would.
there was never a chance, they have created a technology, safety technology, that there's no way these cars could ever crash. You would actually watch for the 1 or 2 times that a car passes over the course of the race.
Some people would. Some people really, really enjoy
I don't know.
that. All right, wrap it up,
Woodsy,
Paulie.
would you rather train for a marathon or watch one marathon?
Watch one marathon. This is no question. Bro, gladly. With a big fat bowl of ruffles.
For a marathon.
My little brother, Brent, is doing another Ironman in Lake Placid this summer. This will be his second Ironman. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
That's crazy.
Like, it's nuts. Dude, you smoke back a day, like drink like a fish. Now he's out there training for Ironmans.
Paulie, I want to give you enough time
Yeah,
because
save it.
This will be a good next
because
segment.
this is something you've done before, and I think it's actually an important service.
Yeah, get your notepad and your
For tier
pen out
ones.
because you're going to want to take some notes in this next
Adam,
segment.
don't listen to this segment.
Yeah, not bosses. You just ignore what we're about to say.
Correct.
Employees,
Pay
this is
attention.
very important for you coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just having this conversation off air about potential vacations. Vacation Ben's got a few in the chamber this year. I've got one that we're planning as a family. And here we go. It's the second day of the year, already trying to get time off.
But everyone, at least with a normal job, has limited amounts of, they call it PTO.
Yeah, paid time off.
Paid time off.
Thank you.
You put it's in your bucket, your PTO bucket.
I was aware of that.
Okay. Ben's explain
PTO. To us how PTO
Well, it used to be called vacation days.
Right, vacation time.
And Ben's pointing at acronyms now.
At some point, companies stopped calling it vacation days and just started calling it PTO.
That's a good point. It did switch. It's at some time in America where they said, let's not call it a vacation. We're just going to give you paid time off.
And I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's non-judgmental about how you choose to
Correct.
spend your time off. It doesn't have to be a vacation.
You sit home as you do with your family. You sit home and tell them that you're on a staycation because you stayed at home. One of my favorite, by the way, discoveries of 2023 was Ben saying, well, staycation just means you stay at home and you don't have to go to work.
Should I just tell my family, we're just going on PTO?
PTO.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping in the same house that you live in, it's not staycation.
Yeah, it's just a stay. It's not a cation. There's no cation attached to it.
There has to be an Airbnb, a hotel reservation.
A tent. A tent, the back of a truck at Big Sur.
Glamping?
Glamping, yes.
Okay.
That's exactly right. But we were just talking to this. Paulie's got that news you can use. Yeah. And I remember you did this story, and I went, damn it, I wish I would have written this down.
So
this isn't illegal or anything.
No, it's not illegal.
No. This is just a life hack. We did this last year, but it was, I don't know, some point middle of the year. So I wanted to get this story done early in the year.
It's just smart business
so that everybody can take their notes, and this is how to maximize your PTO. Now, I understand everybody has different jobs, different schedules. This is for the stereotypical Monday through Friday job.
9 to 5, you have 2 weeks off or whatever.
2 weeks off. Sometimes companies will give floating holidays that maybe you'll add on a birthday or something, but you usually will get 2 weeks paid vacation or paid time off, and then maybe a floating holiday or two. So you're going to want to take all of that into consideration. Now, the first one was actually take yesterday off and extend your Christmas, holiday, New Year break. We already missed that one. So this is going to be...
We should have, actually.
So this is going to be turning 14 days of PTO into 51 days off.
That's absolutely
14 days.
astounding.
It's good math.
And you get 52 days off, consecutive days off, including weekends, of course, but it's like turning 3-day weekends into 5-day weekends or something like that.
Genius. All right, fire away.
January 16th.
Okay.
That is going to be the Tuesday following Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
Everyone's off that Monday. Most people are going to be off that Monday. You take that Tuesday off, it turns a 3-day weekend into a 4-day weekend.
And you've got the short week to follow, which is always great. A 3-day week, it's like, cake. It's cake.
The next date we're going to take off is going to be Friday, February 16th.
President's Day weekend.
President's Day on the 19th. Turning 3-day weekends into 4 days
and you
in
got
a
2
row.
4-day weeks back to back, which is always pleasant.
Brilliant.
So there you go. Okay.
We're going to skip March and April. We're going to go to May, and you will take Friday the 24th off because Monday is Memorial Day.
Another 4 week and a 4-day weekend in between.
So far, you've only used 3 days, and you've got a lot of 4-day weekends.
That's fantastic.
In June, now this is a new one with a lot of companies that have recognized Juneteenth as a national holiday.
I believe ours is one of them, yes?
Yes, it is.
We will be off on June 19th.
That's on a Wednesday.
That is on a Wednesday.
Different.
So that one, they say take the whole week off. Take the other 4 days off and get a mid-June vacation. Take the 17th, the 18th, the 20th, and the 21st
4 off for 9 in a row.
Yep, 4 days off, 9 full days off in a row, though. Then we're going to take July 5th off, right around the 4th of July holiday. You're going to take a full month in August. September 3rd is right around Labor Day. So you're going to take, what day is that? September 3rd is the Tuesday following Labor Day. Turn that 3-day weekend into another 4-day weekend. Then you're going to take November 29th off. And then they say to take Christmas on the 25th this year.
Which is the 29th is the Thanksgiving.
Which is a Wednesday
on the 25th,
this year.
yep.
A Wednesday this year. Excuse me. And so you are going to take that Monday, that Tuesday, and if you don't already have Christmas Eve off, so you're going to take Monday, Tuesday, you get Wednesday off, then take the 26th and the 27th, Thursday and Friday off.
No-brainer.
That is 14 days for, I think it was 51 days off.
And they count weekends, obviously,
right, of course.
But that's very nice.
But you can get 4 days instead of 2 on those normal weekends. I will probably be taking a little bit of advantage of this.
I probably will as well.
We kind of did that on our break last week over the Christmas holiday to kind of extend our vacation.
What did we get, like 11 days in a row or something, 12 days in a row, but we only took like 6 or 7 actual work days off.
Yeah. Every year I'm like, man, we really should be back on the air right now. But the 2 weeks off at the end of the year, though it's not super relaxing because of, kids being out of school and stuff, it just feels like it's something that you need to do. Our buddy Josh Gorel just tweeted in. He said, not going to lie, it wasn't until that convo a couple of weeks ago that I realized my dad duped me into thinking a staycation was just staying at home. You're not the only dad out there, Ben, that dupes his family and children into thinking, hey, look at us, we're on vacation. But Dad, we're actually in our house. Yeah, but nobody's got to go to work, so this is like a vacation.
I understand that for maybe the other members of the family who spend a lot of time at home,
leisurely
time at home is not that fun for them. For the guy who goes out and works 2 jobs, though, time at home is definitely feels like a vacation for me. And it's all about me. So
I absolutely enjoyed my last 10 days off that we had because I didn't go anywhere. It was vacation, but I didn't go on vacation.
Money,
I didn't even do a staycation. Sometimes, if you take a week off, you're usually going somewhere. You don't typically, I at least don't, take a week off from work just to hang out and relax and recharge the batteries and get things done that otherwise I was too busy to do. And I was able to do that.
Well, the nice thing about a staycation as well is that generally with a vacation, you're taking 2 of the days, one at the beginning and one at the end, are travel days, which are stressful and are pretty much just work days that you're not getting paid for. You're just going out and doing something you don't really enjoy doing anyway. And then you're shortening your vacation time into the middle. If you stay and you don't have the travel days, it's like a longer vacation as well.
I agree with that. I love that news you can use, Paulie.
Well, you mentioned before that segment that you hoped Adam was not listening because we're going to probably be taking all of those days off now. We forgot one other person. He's in our chat
Michael,
right now.
our boss,
Michael
big
says
boss.
denied.
Denied. Actually, I don't believe you can. So there you go. I think it's in our contract or something. I don't know. I need to go back and look. Thank you. Thank you, Paulie. News you can use on Ben and Woods.
All right. For Padres fans, some news that you can use. A potential new signing. We discussed a little bit earlier. We'll come back to what the Padres are still doing and what they still need to be doing.
Couple of rumors out there about the terms of the deal we can get into as well.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have those earlier. I haven't seen those yet. So, yeah, we'll update you on that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Apparently, the Padres are working on a bit of a clock here when it comes to signing Korean reliever Woo Suk-go, because his the amount of time, what is it called? The posting.
Yeah, the posting.
Yeah, it expires at 2:00 this afternoon.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
all right,
he
all
has
right,
to
all
be signed by 2:00, like done deal, announced, filed with Major League Baseball and the KBO and his team by 2:00, or it's too late. So according to the latest reporting, and this is out of Korea, Go took a flight overnight, took the red eye from Korea to San Diego. So he should be here this morning to get the deal completed. And you saw some numbers perhaps on what this is going to cost the Padres.
I just don't know, Ben, how accurate they are. I'm hesitant to go there because I don't want to overshoot it, and I don't want to undershoot it as well. I know I teased it. That being said, it's pretty unsubstantiated, to be honest. But I'm hearing, I saw one where it said it's a 1-year deal. Then I saw another one that said it's a 1-year deal with an option for a second player option, I guess. But again, the money that I saw was like $5 million. But
yeah, I saw 2 years, $9 million
2 years, $9 million.
On a report. That's about the same. Now there's also a 20% posting fee to his team, the LG Twins.
Correct.
And they also have to approve the deal because they gave him, it was kind of conditional approval to explore the posting window and like, okay, you get a big enough deal and we're getting a good enough cut, we'll let you go. But if it's not good enough, we're not going to let you go. And apparently they have, according to this reporting out of Korea, the LG Twins have given permission and say, okay, it's enough. And I guess they'll only get about $2 million or so out of that if that's truly the case. But the Padres could have a new reliever in the bullpen, right-hander, Woo Suk-go from the KBO, likely by this afternoon at 2:00, or it's not going to happen.
Well, I tweeted it last night. I stand by it. He is now the most chantable name on the Padres roster. Ha-Sung Kim is a great chant, and no disrespect to Ha-Sung Kim, but it's Suk, not Suk?
It's S-U-K. I don't know Korean that well.
I'm shocked,
but I did see that he is
go. Woo, Suk,
his brother-in-law is Jung Ho Lee of now the Giants.
The Giants.
He's married to Jung Ho Lee's sister.
Yeah.
So there's going to be
very,
some
by the way, very sharp
familial, like Ha-Sung Kim.
Very sharp couple.
You've got a very handsome duo of Korean players potentially on the Padres.
There's no question about it. But no, the chance of now Ha-Sung Kim.
I mean, what's the chance? Just go.
No,
go.
It's Woo. No,
go.
It's Woo Suk go.
Go.
Woo Suk go. Woo Suk go. That's fantastic. I was hoping you'd join in there, but you didn't. That's all right. It's okay. I'll just do it for myself. It's all good.
I mean,
do you like this?
Two of the names, Woo and Go, are cheers anyway in English. So
do you? Yeah, that's true.
The other one,
Suk,
is not really the best of English words, but Woo
Speak
and
for
Go.
Yourself.
I know, like in the Bronx, when they yell "You Suk,"
they don't.
It's not.
They say "You suck."
It's not a compliment.
Correct. The video I saw one video. He looks disgustingly filthy.
I only saw a picture of him in a tuxedo.
I mean that in the best way. Did you not see the video?
I did not see the video.
I tweeted it last night. Maybe
he gets a lot of swing and miss, though, they say.
Gets a lot of swing and miss, gets a lot of ground balls. His walk rate was a little bit high. I'm going to go ahead and blame that on the umpires.
Now, he's pretty young, but
25.
he's been in the league for since he was a teenager. So I'd imagine Ha-Sung Kim faced him when he was very young. But probably not at his prime the last couple of years since, he's been in San Diego for the last 3.
Do you like this strategy of just loading up on arms right now? I don't think it's ever really a bad strategy to load up on arms. The more the merrier.
It's not loading up, though, until you fill all the needs first.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, once you have
a rotation, and then you can add numbers 7 and 8.
My dream scenario is still to get at least one pretty reliable starting pitcher, more like 2. You have to factor in regression. You have to factor in injury,
age,
all of that. You just have to. If you're going to be pragmatic about it, Even if you're an optimist, you still have to be pragmatic that Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, they're coming off of a banged-up season. Hopefully they're healthy, but, you need somebody that can make a ton of starts.
I guess I would say we haven't seen the strategy yet. There's no until the order in which you acquire players doesn't mean anything.
That's true.
Once the season starts.
That's true.
If you end up with, an overload of pitchers, then at that point we can say they really loaded up on pitchers, but they didn't really address their outfield need. But if they end up acquiring 3 outfielders on, February 16th, it won't matter what order everyone was acquired in. You need to address the issues on your team. You have until the season starts, or, even into the season, really, to address them. At this point, yes, the Padres have focused their attention this offseason on the bullpen and the starting pitching and depth in the pitching rotation, and really have done, I was going to say next to nothing when it comes to the lineup. But honestly, I guess Kyle Higashioka is the only position player acquisition of note.
Great
so
thread.
far this offseason.
Great thread right now on our new potential, the alleged new pitcher, Ben. Pairs a mid-90s fastball with a low 90s slider, throws those 2 pitches well over 80% of the time. He said...
One thing we've talked to Eno Saris about is it's easier to scout pitching than hitting. When you can just look now at the movement, your rotations per minute, the velocity, obviously, they've always had, but you can look at the shape of pitches, and it doesn't matter who they're facing, that you can tell whether that's going to be somewhat effective in the big leagues or not. With hitters, it's a little bit different. If they're not facing major league pitching, you can't completely evaluate how a hitter does. You can say, I really like his swing. It looks like he's quick to the ball, and you can try to project that they'll have some success in the big leagues, but you don't really know. With pitchers, you have a better idea of what you're getting when you sign them. If they can at least duplicate what they were doing in their other league, you can say, I know that movement, that speed, that velocity, and that location will play in the big leagues.
He also, Jiho Yu is who tweeted this, Ben. He did a 10-point thread and said he had some injury issues in 2023, made the WBC team but did not pitch because of neck pain, which later turned out to be shoulder inflammation. Then he suffered a lower back injury during the KBO season, missed the first 17 days of the season, spent almost the entire month of May on the IL. That was a long time ago. So I'm assuming the Padres have done their due diligence, and you're talking about shoulder inflammation and a sore lower back. There's nothing in there that you see structural arm damage or anything like that. So, and
again, this is pretty wild speculation at this point, but working on that deadline and having to get medicals done,
got to be tough, man.
If he's just arriving, you're kind of up against a crunch here and making a decision at the last second here. Sounds like they're pretty far along in the process, though. If he's gotten on a plane, as has been reported, and he's coming to San Diego and he's got a 2:00 deadline, my guess is we'll hear something by the end of the day.
Is anybody following his plane like they did Shohei Ohtani? Is anybody out there? Are there any dedicated Padres fans left? Is what I want to know, because why hasn't this plane been tracked yet?
Because it's probably just a commercial flight.
Could be. It could be. And there was no flight for Shohei, by the way.
There wasn't.
It was not
anyway,
on that
so,
bad boy.
yeah, that's true.
All right.
We're going to check traffic. We have a show activity coming up later today. Talk about that after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, guys, don't expect much relief on our very wet roadways. We still have this crash on northbound side of the 15 just past Miramar Road. Looks like that is over the right shoulder of the HOV lane. Up ahead, another crash just before Poway Road. Vehicle facing the wrong way in the second lane from the left. Also traveling on the northbound 125 just past Spring Street. There's an accident over the right shoulder. Couple vehicles involved. Rio Drive on-ramp to westbound 54, a collision. Just continue to take it extra carefully out there, guys, and please have your headlights on so you're more visible to other drivers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Our buddy Mike, by the way, Ben, has tracked the flight.
Oh, good.
If it's KAL Korean Air LO11 from Seoul to LAX. Supposed to get in at 1:17 p.m. Maybe that's it. AJ Preller's got to drive to LAX to pick him up.
Wow,
tonight.
that's cutting it close. If the
it's
deadline's 2 o'clock and if his plane is 40 minutes late, you can't sign him. That's
well, he said unless he took the 2:30 p.m. KST flight, then he's already landed. I would imagine
think
was
that
the one.
would probably be more likely.
Okay. Good work, Mike. Thank you, buddy.
We've got a little traveling to do this afternoon. First, I've got stuff to take care of. I don't know if you feel this way, but when I have people in my car, I feel like I need to get it washed
every time.
So I'm going to go get a car wash.
It is pouring rain.
That's a good point. It's raining. Well,
It's been raining all morning. Your car's clean, buddy.
It's really the interior that I want. I don't care about the exterior so much. I want to make sure it's all vacuumed and inside and nice for you,
too. For me and Paulie.
When you hop in the car with me, and we're going to be driving up to the evil empire land of Los Angeles this afternoon to attend an event we were invited to by the good folks at Callaway, who are doing their 2024 brand reveal. And we're going to go up to the Top Golf there and find out a little bit more about their 2024 line, mingle with the, I think, some of the people in the know in the golf and sports industry who may or may not be there. I'm kind of excited about this.
El Segundo
by the airport. Maybe we'll run into the Padres' new reliever when he's up there.
And you're driving us.
I will drive you.
Okay. Now there's a dinner at 7 up there. I would
it's
like
part of the whole event.
It's the whole
there's
event.
Golf,
We're not staying the whole
there's
time.
Top Golf. There's a par 3 course, a lit par 3 course. And when I say lit,
like cool,
I mean it actually has lights.
It's got Riz
that you can play after dark, after sunset. Yeah, I mean, I don't totally know what to expect, but I'm excited about this.
Beef in the chest. Ben's going to drive 55 the
I
whole
know
way up
he
in
is.
the rain.
I drove to Arizona with him one time.
I think we'll be lucky.
God.
I think we'll be lucky if we get up to 55 for most of the drive.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's good.
On a
won't be your fault.
405 in the rain going up to LA. 55 is the dream, guys.
I'm bringing a book, a snack. I'm bringing all kinds of things in your car.
I don't really like to have food in my car.
I don't care at all. Are you driving so you get to dictate when we leave?
Yes.
Yes, because he knows if I drive, we'll be there 45 minutes. This is awesome.
I mean, you have to stay long enough to make the drive worth it.
Which is how long?
The drive?
The drive is going to be 3 hours.
We have to be there longer
I feel like you have to be there at least as long as it took you to get there.
So we're talking about a 9-hour day after the day. We have a morning show.
Well, I don't think it'll take 3 hours to get back, fortunately.
Okay.
Should be less than 2.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and maybe we have some ideas of who might be there. I don't want to get disappointed, but it's going to be fun.
I know who was there last year.
I know who's there last year, too.
So that
plays third base for our beloved baseball team.
Makes
here.
it more intriguing. I don't expect him to be there
I don't
again,
either.
but I would expect there will be some interesting folks to
Will he big league
mingle
us?
with.
Are we going to try to get some interviews and stuff? We should.
I think we should try to set up some interviews.
That's a good idea. Good idea.
I don't know that we actually
let's
can
get in touch. We'd love to have you on the show
Yes.
next week.
Great.
Yeah, networking.
We need a business card to make ourselves look more official. We don't have any.
We'll just give them stickers.
Yeah. Sticker with our number
We'll
on the
write
back.
everything on the back.
Not bad. Not a bad idea, Paulie. Can we do that? Seriously.
I got stickers.
All right. We'll write the number on the back, and maybe we can get some nice content. But
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So we'll have some stories one way or another, either horrific travel stories or cool event stories for you tomorrow morning when we get back from Los Angeles.
I just realized we're going to be listening to PGA Tour radio the whole way
You're
up.
going to be listening.
No,
I'm bringing these.
I'm putting my headphones in as well, and I'm going to be reading a book. I'll sit in the back.
I was going to
Paulie.
say, I got dibs on the back.
I'll sit in the back.
No, I think you're the president of the show. You deserve
If I'm the
to ride
president, then I
shotgun.
get to ride in the back.
I'll be listening to Gwen and Chris on the way up.
Fair enough.
I think Chris is back today. He was at the SDSU game yesterday, but he had Scravy and Tony, and they had Annie and Elston on.
Yep.
So, and tomorrow's the big day.
Big day.
The brand new debut of Annie and Elston right after our show. I think it's just Braden and Italian Paul today, from what I heard
Oh, really?
Sammy talking about today, and then Annie and Elston tomorrow at 10, first time. Well, we'll cross it over, and then we'll hand things 4 hours right to them to see what they bring you on their very first show.
We're crossing over tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we gotta cross over tomorrow.
Have you thought about what we're going to call that segment?
No.
Okay.
I need to put some more thought into
All
that.
right. You're good at that. You're really good at segment
All
names.
right.
You named the Daily Ditty, by the way. That was your name. Now it's gone away, and people are noticing. Have you seen that?
Did people notice?
People are tweeting.
We quietly
retired the Daily Ditty. We
were getting nearly 1,000, up to almost 1,000 songs.
A little over 3 years. Daily Ditty. It was October of 2020.
It's dead now. We killed it.
It's been retired.
It's like a fish. It can only like a goldfish.
I
It's
mean,
not gonna
the
last
fact
that
that you weren't allowed to repeat any songs, we've pretty much gone through the gamut of all music.
No, we haven't even closed. That said,
it's like 1,200 songs in existence or something like that.
We did kill the Daily Ditty. We did. It's dead.
Yeah, I think doesn't mean we can't ever play music on the show again.
That's what we do. We play. We had a lot of music.
We still do.
Yeah,
but
still doing it.
Just pick one song every day. We've decided to move on. I think it's important to
keep it fresh.
Yeah, we brought back Ben Reed's raps occasionally, but you can't do bits
every week,
forever and ever. Don't do this. Will have its day at some point.
It will.
As well.
So we'll take on Woods. They all do.
It's been the longest running segment, but at some point we will say enough is enough, and we'll have to move on.
By the way, if you guys have any ideas for new benchmarks, please send them our way. Because I am out of ideas, all right? On January 2nd.
You can contact us on those non-existent business cards.
That's exactly right. Lauren just suggested maybe we get electronic business cards. Paulie, maybe that's something you can work on the drive.
Ooh, yeah.
E-business cards.
E-business
people in the chat have been saying QR codes. You can just... They scan a QR code. It brings up your contact information.
Nice.
Number.
It goes right into their phone.
Done.
Sick. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully we have a good day today.
Airdrop them to people on their phones or something like that.
Yeah. We'll have some good stories for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, listen, there's a lot to get done with our local baseball team. Big Aztecs game tonight, Benny as well. So we'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow.
I don't know how much you want to tease this, but Woodsy, we've been talking about this. We are going to go international tomorrow morning.
Oh, is it happening?
Yeah.
Is it done?
7:35.
Oh.
So, did you guys see over the break Welsh Fryer?
I
think he's in the chat right now.
Is he in the chat right now?
Saw
That
him earlier.
beloved kid, dude.
Tom.
So he's a 17, 18-year-old kid from Wales. I don't even know where Wales is. I think it's by England.
It's where Wrexham is. I know that.
Is that right?
Kingdom.
It's United Kingdom. I don't know what that means, really.
It's kind of, if you think of the big island
on planet Earth
that England and Scotland is on, it's kind of on the left side.
The other island?
No, it's the
What's
same.
that
It's
other
the
island?
same
Scotland?
island. No, the other island is Ireland.
Ireland.
Northern Ireland and then Ireland. But if you go to London and then you kind of go west over to the left side of England, then you get to Wales.
Okay, Welsh Fryer is in the chat, and he's coming on tomorrow. There's no way this is his real voice. Did you hear him on his? He's like, "Hello, my name is Tom." I can't do a Welsh accent. He has the deepest, most rich pipes of anybody I've ever heard. He's a huge Padres fan. He's a huge San Diego sports fan.
I wonder if he speaks Welsh. That is a wild language.
Is it a language or an accent?
No, Welsh is a language too.
I don't know anything.
They speak English there, but there is a Welsh language also.
Okay, I'm so excited to talk to
you.
him.
You don't watch Wrexham, do you?
No.
You learn more about Wales if you watch it.
All
right, that's it for us. We will be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. For Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.